Happy Friday, everyone. Oops. Happy Friday, everyone. I think that's what DFE used to say. I'm still wearing my banana mask or banana costume because yesterday's call we were all dressing up in banana suits to rep Dole. If you want to see that video, it's on YouTube. You can watch all of us just being idiots and making banana jokes. It looks like some of us still have our banana suits on, which is awesome. And then
I think your banana suit is the best one ever.
Is it because of the hair?
Yes, it is.
We should do more of these costume parties, if you will. Although I don't know what other costumes would work well for other stocks. Like GME, what would you dress up as? Or
astronaut?
Nice.
Look, we would just come as we are because we were already degenerates playing video games anyway. So,
opinion, that's kind of obvious, right? We got dressed as apes. We got dressed as a monkey.
Cats. Yeah, but you might get confused as someone from AMC.
Oh, that's true. You wouldn't want that association.
You got to do the cat.
Sorry,
I'm not
apes
a cat.
are apes. Oh yes, I'm not a cat.
And there's oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'm bullish as fuck today. I found $100 in my pants this morning, so it's 0 DTEs.
What are you gonna put it in? You can buy there's many contracts actually.
Yeah, or I can burn it all on SPY. $100 Canadian. That's like what, 35 cents? More or less.
Check out SPY 0 DTE's $388 puts. That's what I'm doing.
How do you select that strike?
So far, Max Payne has treated me very well. I closed up 70% yesterday, just looking at the Max Payne on the SPY, comparing it to where it's open. However, today we have monthly, weekly, and daily options expiry. So we'll see if my thesis holds true on a day where so many different OPEX dates are hitting. So this is going to be a real gamble for me. We'll see what happens.
Is that what they call this, quad witching?
Yeah, it's triple, right? Triple witching. Quad would be also quarterly. Maybe is this quarterly options expiry? Is it quad witching today? Shit.
Oh. No, I think I got that wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just triple witching.
Maybe odds be in your favor.
Usually if it's quad witching, we would know because people don't shut up about it.
Fair enough. The witches get very excited. I'm seeing a lot of talk about Upstart, and the only thing I really remember about them is when someone went on TV and didn't really know what they did, but they were shilling them. So is this another like pump and dump type thing, or what's going on here?
Believe it or not, the guy who was shilling Upstart that day is the very same guy who was like, if GME goes to 30, we're going to see something parabolic. It was the same guy.
Somehow I believe it.
Well, people listen to him. I mean, GME went to 30, so, it worked.
And I think that paid off pretty nicely for him because rumor is that Archegos bags were held by Credit Suisse and that his private hedge fund bought the bags off Credit Suisse for pennies on the dollar. So sending it to 30 probably allowed him to clear out a bunch of toxic GME positions. Well played.
On that note, what's anything new evolving in this tokenized stock GME FTX implosion?
It was all bullshit. I mean, we could talk about it more, but basically it was all fraud. They'd never actually held a single share.
So someone on the sub did a formula as to how screwed the FTX CEO is, and he's facing most likely life imprisonment if he gets convicted. Or I think we're all knowing it's going to be a win.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing I've read about the whole situation is every time somebody talks about Sam Bankman-Fried, he finds another way to lose $1 billion.
The moral of the story is don't have an elf as your financial advisor.
They didn't even have an accountant.
They did. She was an elf. That was her job.
Oh no. Well, fortunately, for better or worse, we can't trade FTX. Can't really trade anything with them anyways. So what can we trade? What can we talk about?
I was going to put in that since we just talked about SBF. If he does go to jail, he has to
Sir, please jump
Can't
out
hear
of
you.
the bag.
Did we just get a play from the teachers from Charlie Brown?
Yeah, sorry, Waffle. Really hard to hear you.
Whoever's kidnapping Waffle, can you please let him out so he can say his play, please?
And while that's going on, I'm curious to hear about how your plays this week have gone or not gone.
Nintendo seems to be doing well. Mine's going well so far.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my money back.
Yeah, I've almost made my money back. We're almost in the green, boys.
Yeah, I'm less than a percentage down. Holy shit, let's fucking go.
Well, we're pre-market. It's gonna drop again.
We can
Share your sundial play. I followed you on that one.
What is the sundial play again, please?
Oh yeah, nice. So the play Scald's talking about. I brought some news forward to Confuse Money yesterday. They posted on Twitter that on the 16th they announced a $100 million repurchase program. So I'm very bullish on Sundial, and Scald's got a play on it. Scald, you want to share?
Yeah, I just bought $3 calls expiring at the end of next week just to see what happens with this share repurchase agreement. I think that's roughly 15% of the open float of the stock. So we might see a little bit of a rally there. This is my first time playing a weed stock, so we'll see what happens.
Don't get
Not only
burned.
that, your boy is buying shares today. I got my loan today. I'm throwing money down on SNDL today. Directly shares. I'm holding long.
So you're using that SoFi to get that sundial?
Not yet. As soon as I transfer funds, oh, it is fucking on. I'm 7 living covered calls.
That's called the way. I'm surprised that you've never traded weed stocks before because they were huge. Like not even like 3-4 years ago, 2017, I think. So can some of our veteran weed traders talk a little bit about how that went? Oh, what? None of you guys traded Tilray back in the days where it was like pumping up to what is it, like $100+ and then crashing down? And we would like hang on every word of regulation. We would be like,
I believe Tilray hit like 320, sir.
"Oh, I'm so sorry to offend all the Tilray holders, bag holders, and otherwise."
Yeah. Anyone still holding bags from when Tilray was at its all-time high? Please raise your hand so we can laugh at. Hear from you.
No, I smoked that years ago.
Master's still averaging down.
Your boy is only in SNDL, not Tilray.
I was on Tilray and it was up like 16,000%, and I just held until for a whole year, and then went back down.
Oh no, it's insane because they're like probably in the span of like 3 or 4 months or 5 months, like the stock itself went up like 500% or more, and like options on anything at that point were just moving very rapidly in either direction. So it was definitely a crazy time.
Yeah, it went from like $4 to $70 in a month.
Yeah, when that happened, I was adding IIPR, the people that lease the growing centers, to my boomer portfolio, and that's gone all right. But I've never traded a weed stock directly.
Covered calls might be a good play on them since they're cheap now and hope for a run up.
Yeah, that's my strategy with them. Is it's a longer term strategy. My average cost on Tilray is $3.77 a share. I've been selling covered calls; those have been doing pretty good. And then I'm guessing at some point, as more and more states start to legalize it medically and recreationally, there's probably going to be a roll up strategy at some point. So I'm looking at it as short term dividends from the covered calls, and then a long term roll up play.
Well, I think there already is a roll-up play. Like, I think all the major players are roll-ups where they bought out small weed stores that were lucky in the weed license or the marijuana license lottery, and to try and build some kind of monopoly. But then it turned out that regulation took longer than expected, and their valuations collapsed. Is that what you mean by roll-up strategy?
That's the first part of it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was really excited for the collapse.
Not to change the topic, but does someone want to share that Bluebird play? I followed people on that yesterday too.
Yes, I'm very curious. Bluebird.
For me, it's just a straight gamble based on the announcement that was talked about late yesterday in the market talk around like after hours. There was a conversation about there was legislation that was approved to provide like $1 billion worth of funding for development and production of electric buses for school buses. So I bought some Bluebird calls.
Bluebird is $350 million market cap, so below the 500 million threshold.
I also about LEV. Is that?
I think around
Lev, yeah.
I see him at 589, but
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone else can confirm.
Yep, I can
590.
confirm that.
590. So I also bought some. I actually bought some stock in Lev because it's really cheap. So I'm planning on holding those and just selling covered calls and see what happens.
And the announcement was that this administration is going to be financing electric buses. So local school districts converting to electric buses are going to be receiving government money, and these companies both make electric buses.
And the Lev play, apparently they already have buses out and they're being used up in northern Canada, and I guess they're performing pretty well even in the cold weather. So for especially for metropolitan areas rather than rural areas, electric buses seems like the way to go.
So this could be a combination electric bus and weed play, right? Because if the electric buses work perfectly, you can be on weed while you're driving them.
Only if they have the autonomous module.
That's what I'm talking about.
So real question about the electric bus thing. Are they going to be installing, I guess, charging stations at all the bus depots? Is that kind of part of the bill and the ultimate plan?
I can't see why not, right? Or maybe even if not at all of them, perhaps at terminus stations where the buses actually rest for a little bit.
What was that ticker that did the charging stations? I know we've talked about it a few times.
ChargePoint?
Yep, those are the two. Thank you, gentlemen.
But I'm just thinking because I have a little bit of knowledge of school working and busing routes. The depots are going to be slow, incredibly slow, making those upgrades. If they need to put in charging stations or like change over their buses, they're just trust me, it's going to be a very slow process for them, even if the money's there. Just something to consider.
Out of curiosity, how many kilowatts or megawatts would be needed in that lot to power all the chargers? Because let's say a bus fleet's 30 buses, or I don't know what a reasonable bus fleet is, but a 30 bus fleet, all charging simultaneously or near simultaneously, that's going to suck out a lot of power.
It would have to be an independent power support, or you know what I'm saying, for that.
They basically have to build a substation next to that bus.
Yeah, that's a fuckload of power, man. Like you're talking about at least 4,000, at least, and that you don't want to be near 4,000. You're gonna feel that shit in your nuts.
D's nuts.
D nut?
D nuts. Long on D nuts.
I would imagine more realistically, the depots might add like a couple buses, like 3 or 4 that are electric, but I couldn't like see a full fleet overhaul that could actually be like a potential play that would matter for these companies.
Even if it were a couple of buses, this is a nationwide. The bill is intended for a nationwide rollout.
Yes.
And there are only 2 companies that could potentially benefit. So maybe the play just leaps on both.
And that's both ChargePoint and Plug.
Well, it was the one that can't be named because it's too small, and Lion Electric, the other bus maker.
I think Lion.
EVGO. Sorry, go ahead.
Or Lev, yeah.
I wonder if they could do it with solar. Like if they set up a solar station to charge all the buses.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be reliable.
Yeah, fair point.
Like bus routes. When I was in school, the bus routes started at 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
So
it would have to be. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
A lot of school buses in the beginning, so they'll trickle charge overnight.
You know, it's a good point that they're not driving very far. Like a school bus, not a metro bus.
I think we've speculated enough.
Yeah.
I was curious, is the money in infrastructure building it out or maintaining it or operating it?
Yes.
Yes.
Everywhere. Got it. So we talked about the manufacturing aspect, but I imagine municipalities or counties are going to be operating them. But what about the maintenance? Is it local, typically smaller companies?
With
know how
it
that
being
would
an
work with
electric bus, I would imagine that they wouldn't be able to do your local mom and pop, heavy wrecker service or whatever.
My question is,
The maintenance
two
is
different
very
companies-
small on electric vehicles.
Right, that was my thesis with puts on the DIY autos, because working on electric is very challenging to do if you're trying to work on it yourself, or like you said, small mom and pops.
Well, what would you do? Just change a tire?
That's all it is. It's just tires. It's just rubber, basically. Everything else, there's no fuel, so it's just batteries and rubber.
No oil changes?
There's no oil changes, no transmission. The motors are directly mounted usually on the wheels, so the maintenance should actually be lower.
So I went into a Tesla dealer when they first came out, and I was talking to him about like resale value, and the guy like looked at me funny and said, "Resale value? This is like we update the operating system on the effective iPad in the car. That's it. It's just rubber. There's no maintenance on these things. It's not. Don't think of like a new car, used car. It's just a car that's updated all the time. So it's just the maintenance stuff that's just basic."
Actually, yeah, but what happens when they're exposed to areas that have, like, they salt the roads at winter, so you have corrosion and you have issues where, like, wear and tear? What happens when a motor goes out?
You replace the whole motor.
One of the big issues actually is the brake system, because of regenerative braking, a lot of the brake fluid and brake pads are they degrade without use.
So they last longer.
No, they don't. Like the braking fluid system actually starts failing because it's not being used.
Also, your brakes do need some use or else they'll rust. Like by braking, you're actually stripping off a little bit of the outer edge of the brake. That stops it from rusting over. So letting it not break can actually cause more problems.
I can chime in. I work for Porsche, and we have the all-electric cars, which I'm not certified to work on and don't want to be because that voltage is scary. But I did do hybrid work when I worked at Honda. 48-volt system, that was a lot of like battery replacement, because that was also tied in. It was a small 1.3-liter gas motor, but if the hybrid battery went, the gas motor would still work. But these all-electric cars, there's 2 problems. One, if something happens to that battery, the car is a paperweight. And 2, finding people to work on these is becoming more and more of an issue every day. There's been a technician shortage just for gas cars for, it's been years, and it's not getting any better. So I don't know. It's not looking good as a technician standpoint, like as new people coming in, but you also, the people that are here have to get trained, and that's not going well either. So
Does it, like, if we're talking about an electric vehicle, are we talking about one company that has built the entire thing, or like is the engine coming from a different company than the actual chassis?
I mean, for Porsche, everything's made by Porsche.
It really depends. So like the Korean companies have one platform that they're all using.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say that each company has their own manufacturer that they're doing. You know, like Porsche's building their engines and their chassis. You know, the problem though that I see with like the electric vehicles is, like Milmat was saying, you have a huge shortage of these technicians all over America, and it's not increasing. If anything, we're going to lose more as the boomers start to go out, as they start to retire. So there's a huge demand for technicians on electric vehicles, but the only people that have those technicians are, you know, like Tesla. Like, you have to take it to Tesla to get it fixed.
Yeah,
as well as the proprietary.
People aren't taking their electric cars to mom and pop independent shops. That's for sure.
As well as the proprietary software that's not needed. That's why there has to be repair persons that are skilled and trained specifically on that software to work on the vehicles.
Also,
I mean, it's
proprietary tools for repair.
There are shops popping up that will sell you a battery for like your Nissan Leaf when the battery goes out, or that will even redo a ICE car to all electric. They're starting to pop up. I mean, they'll grow with the market.
So here's my problem with the fully electric model, right? Is like, if anybody has ever had a car that has had issues with the computer, it is a bitch and a half, and the whole system goes down. Like, even just on a Jeep Cherokee, on a 2014 Jeep Cherokee, if you aren't getting enough electricity to the computer, the transmission starts to go. Like, you know, like your windshield wipers don't work. It has trouble starting. The ignition and the clutch are an issue. So it's a computer issues are a super major issue all the time when they happen. Whereas with, you know, let's say you have bad rotors, or you have a bad caliper, you just swap the part and you're done.
So I'm wondering, I'm about to dip. So I'm wondering though, can we consider electric vehicles part of the tech industry? Like, if we're talking about a maintenance technician for an electric vehicle, is that more akin to a programmer or an engineer, or would that be more akin to like a mechanic?
It's a really good question. I think it's a little bit of both, right? It's like a little bit of a hybrid. The computer aspect is definitely tech side. It's definitely programming, you know, the computer thing. Especially even with mechanical cars, you know, when you plug in the WB2 connector, you're reading a code that the car computer is giving to you. So, you know, ever since the early 2000s, you know, computers have become huge parts of cars. Even a mechanical car, you're still dealing with the computer aspect. However, with the fully electronic cars, I think it's becoming more and more of an electrical issue and an engineer issue as opposed to, you know, the basic mechanic nuts and bolts, right? It's not a 72 Chevy that you just replace the part on and this does this, which does this, which does this, and now the engine works, you know?
So do you feel like wages and the costs associated with running some of these, the labor costs associated with running some of these maintenance companies is going to go up? And then what does that mean for LEV or the other company that cannot be mentioned, if they're going to
tell you right now, wages are not going up in the dealership side of things. So
Yeah.
there's that.
The other problem that you
it's
have
bad.
is you're having to train people. Like, if I owned a mom and pop mechanic shop, right, theoretically, and I'm in an area where suddenly there's a bunch of electric vehicles starting to come in, and I'm seeing a decline in business because people are no longer bringing mechanical cars to me. They're asking me on the phone, "Hey, I have a Tesla. Is this something that you can fix?" It's like, well, now I need to train somebody, or I, as the owner of the shop, need to become more savvy in terms of fixing electrical vehicles. And also, in an industry where this is becoming a bigger and bigger thing, if somebody does know how to work on an electric vehicle, they're going to be charging top dollar because they're in such demand.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. I think to wrap up the talk on then cars and electric transportation, there's LEV, there's ChargePoint. What were some of the others that were mentioned? Other tickers?
Did you say
Go EV is one, or EVGO, EVGO. That's one. And I've seen the charging stations, it's sheets and stuff like that. It's a gas station that has food for all you not Pennsylvania people.
Excellent.
How you doing, guys?
How you doing? Good.
What's going on? I actually had a nice little transition into this. I myself and OK Helicopter and whoever else has been following him have been looking at like tickers AutoNation, SAC, GPI, LAD, and I was wondering about the car bubble because Q3 SAC and AutoNation both missed their Q3 earnings, but they kind of went against demand destruction and they've been climbing quite a bit. And I think AutoNation is like maybe less than $20, less than 20% off their 5-year high. And I think SAC is in the same boat. I was just wondering, I've been doing some due diligence on this, and I think that the auto industry, the dealerships are quite ripe for a fall, I'm sure next year. But I was just wondering if anybody knew a little bit more and like time frame, rough estimate maybe, because I think it's gonna get ugly with the car market.
It's already ugly at the dealerships, but the new cars still showed some profit last quarter, and they had residuals left over from I want to say what they call holdback is when they buy a car from the factory. The factory actually, because so many people out there know what the invoice price is, there is actually a holdback packed into the invoice price. On most cars, it's like around 2, maybe 3%. And that holdback comes in at the end of the quarter. So it's a nice big check for the ones that do large volume. They're still doing good gross profit per vehicle on the new cars, but they're selling a lot less of them. They went up with the market. We had it right that they were off on earnings, all of them, but they all went up with the market from the October 20th pump on up to now. So there is going to be a fall, whether it's in the next reporting or the reporting after. Within the next 6 months, they should all fall pretty heavily based off of pre-pandemic numbers, which is what my aim was, but did not see that market pump coming from the 20th on from October.
Right. Well, and you're seeing also the repos are through the roof now. You're seeing cars not getting bid at auction. Auctions are growing inventory like crazy. And I also heard that banks are getting a lot tighter on loaning. And like, say if you're going to buy a car above MSRP, some banks are having you pay the difference above MSRP out of pocket, from what I understand.
So the major lenders, I'm sorry.
So they're lending at 100% car value?
They'll lend up to 130% of retail still, some lenders already. The main lenders like Capital One and Ally, they haven't changed their lending practices much. They're looking for the new business to still try to offset what they anticipate as losses coming up. So, but they're like Capital One, I remember from last report, allowed $1.7 billion for bad debts for their credit cards and auto loans, where they only made 1.7 million, so they allowed half of it for bad debt. As long as they come in under that, they're still going to be doing well as there. So they're still all lending pretty aggressive.
Are you getting 2008 flashbacks?
Are dealerships still claiming they have like shortages on new cars?
Yes. None of the ones I see. None of the ones I see here in Pennsylvania. The Chrysler dealers are advertising again to try to sell more of their vehicles because they're stocked up.
From my experience, it's like mostly the like secondhand market that's been like crashing, but I haven't really seen it from like dealerships.
I think it depends on the actual car brands. Some of them are having some shortages still, but some of them, like I think a lot of American cars, are back to capacity.
Feeling like it's 2008 vibes. People giving out loans, economy worsening. Sorry, go ahead.
I think so. I mean, I think it's really ripe for a fall. I mean, if you look at some of the 5 years, look at AutoNation. I mean, their high 5 year was 135. They're like what 117, 118 right now. I mean, they're ripe for a fall. I mean, they're so exposed to used cars. I mean, are dropping drastically. They've been dropping since October drastically, and you go by any dealership. I mean, how many dealerships have you seen? Anyone that you drive by that has, used cars stacked, across the lot because they all loaded up when they couldn't get their new car inventory.
Carvana.
A sign of things to come for the other ones.
We've spent the first half of this call just talking cars. I didn't realize there were so many car heads listening to Wall Street Bets.
Yeah.
If anybody has any car questions, let me know.
Might as well start calling this car talk.
I was looking into a new EV investment besides Tesla.
Is it NIO?
Rivian and Lucid, but less Lucid just because they're Saudi Arabia ties.
For real, I would like to flip into NIO when China starts opening back up again.
Rivian is having issues with their steering wheels falling off. I would look into Rivian a little bit less, but that's just my humble opinion.
That's a new term.
So I don't like their oval shaped headlights. It's just unattractive. Sorry, that's just a personal bias.
I'm not sure what that does for their financials, although are you looking into them because of their relationship with Amazon, or is there something else there for Rivian?
I started looking into Rivian stock after Tesla and Elon's purchase of Twitter. I kind of figured Tesla was going to take a hit, so I pulled everything out, and I'm just holding on to it to look into another EV.
All right, gotcha. If there's anything else for vehicles, this is your time, or forever hold your peace, or at least until Monday.
Yeah, I got some stuff not related to vehicles whenever we're ready.
Sure. Who was the first person that talked?
It was I. I was just saying that I don't think this is a good time for buying electric vehicles because of battery and silicon stuff out of China. But Revvion may have a better plan than I give them credit for, but I just don't think they're a good buy at the moment.
All right. Fair enough. Thanks a lot. Skull, do you want to go ahead?
Hey, Skull, wait, hold on. I just wanted to say I put something in the comments going back to what Opinion said at the beginning here about taking advantage of the FTX collapse. There's a Silvergate Capital. People should look into it. It's collapsed 47% since the FTX collapsed, and there's an article, and they are basically got a bank run on them, and they are quickly finding out that this Silvergate is hollow on the inside and rotting. It's just got as bad as financials as FTX had.
What's the symbol, slut?
SI.
SI.
Thank you.
Every FTX deposit got through that bank, correct?
Yeah, so I can talk about Silvergate real quick from a crypto perspective.
Absolutely.
So Silvergate Bank, they will only talk to you if someone else in the crypto community personally reps for you. So the way I got my bank account is other crypto bros were like, yeah, Skull Crypto's like a good dude. And that's how I got my Silvergate bank account. So Coinbase, Crypto.com, Gemini, Genesis, FTX on the back end, they're using Silvergate to route all the fiat to crypto payments. Just so we're clear, that's the preferred on-ramp. Now, you can use other banks, I know someone who's got PNC linked to Coinbase and it's working just fine, but Silvergate is deeply tied to all these centralized crypto exchanges as their preferred on and off ramp for fiat.
And so what does that mean? If they're facing a bank run, is everyone kaput?
I think one of the other fears is also the idea that there's a rumor that's going around crypto Twitter for the last few days. And I think Slut Spoiler also mentioned this. The rumor is that it's actually just one pile of money, and they're moving it into each of the exchanges, taking the snapshot as proof of assets versus liabilities, and then afterwards they're moving them to different wallets. And so there's actually less money in the entire system than people thought, and it's just kind of being moved from one place to another. Snapshots are being taken to assure everyone that their deposits are okay. If that rumor is true, FTX is the first domino in a chain.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I mean, that's definitely scary if it's true, but I'm just reading something from November 11th saying that their exposure to FTX, which is what caused, their recent dip, or crash, but it's actually the other way around. Like, they were holding FTX deposits, not FTX holding their deposits. So is it possible the crash is unfounded?
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility that they are just holding the fiat, right? They could just be holding the regular dollars, in which case they would actually be in a very sound financial position because all the other tokens just went to zero. So now they've got assets with no tied liabilities. But I think the downward movement is also in anticipation of perhaps bankruptcy courts and lawsuits having to go into Silvergate and get out that money, right?
are you keeping your money in there? If you got a bank account, like you said, are you keeping your money in there or taking it out?
I use it as an on-ramp and off-ramp. So when I need to get my crypto out of crypto into fiat, if I don't spend it with one of my crypto credit cards, I move it through Silvergate and then I deposit it in my local credit union. I generally don't have a large account balance there.
Smart. Not your keys, not your crypto, but I guess in this case, if it's a crypto exchange, it's still not your dollars, your fiat. Moving on from crypto, do we have any real world plays with real physical assets?
AGNC puts, looking at the next strike down, just barely out of the money. They're 15 cents a contract, so $15 a contract for next Friday. Housing data is reporting at 10 a.m. AGNC is highly leveraged. They have 8.7 times leverage on residential REITs. So a bad report on housing data might send them down to sub $9 range, in which case the $9 puts will print. Also looking at picking up RWT stock. Anytime it gets down below $6, I start buying. They only have 1.4 times leverage on their residential REITs, and they pay a pretty healthy dividend. So I like that stock long.
What's the ticker on that one?
The tickers are AGNC, Alpha, Gamma, Neutron, Charlie for AGNC. And for RWT, that would be Rick Whiskey Tango. So RWT long, AGNC short, near dated puts, $9 on AGNC, and then looking to buy shares of RWT if it breaks down below 6 again.
Nice, thank you very much. I love how the words that people choose to use when spelling out their tickers is probably reflective of their IQ.
Wait, what are you saying?
I'm not saying nothing. Don't worry about it. I do want to talk about one company that's very near and dear to my heart, frequent customer. Yes, you all probably know I'm obviously talking about Grindr here, which is IPOing today. GRND.
Aren't you a subject matter expert in that topic?
Sorry?
You are a subject matter expert on Grindr, aren't you?
Yes, well, I think it's very important to do as much research as you can about the companies you invest in and to really know them inside and out.
Your potential clients at the Wendy's dumpster.
I mean, hey,
Look,
listen, 20 bucks is 20 bucks, guys.
You need to
You should
understand that
always
Grindr.
research the clients. It makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you meet up with them and learn about what they're interested in a company?
Opinion is subscriber number
Only
one.
reason why I joined Grindr.
Exit liquidity joke.
So, talk to us, opinion about their IPO today. Like, what do you think is it fair price? Are we moving up? Is it gonna go up and then take a quick turn tomorrow?
It's gonna drop hard.
Fall hard.
Yeah.
Do we
I'm
know
not
what
too
the
sure.
IPO price is?
Yeah,
What's
I
a
can
symbol?
GRND.
It's $69, Weeb.
I'm sorry, I just gotta say that's hilarious.
Is it
Actually, I had no idea this was happening.
Ticker
Oh,
DIC.
Is there an
G-
IPO or
SPAC
is
was
this a de-SPAC?
trading.
It is, yes, it's a D-SPAC or a SPAC. Yes, currently.
I don't mess with specs.
Or it might drop to 67, which is 69, but with two fingers up your ass.
Just, well, yes, I think their biggest competitor being Match, MTCH, will be a clear indicator of how they should be priced. And I think if there's too much deviation away from whatever Match's ratios are, then I think they should converge. Match, of course,
How do you
being
consider them a
significantly larger.
competitor?
Match owns
They're in the
pretty much
personal
all.
relationship business.
They own pretty much all of these platforms, but probably the closest one being to Grindr would be Tinder.
The reason I ask is because from my perception, Grindr is primarily for like people that are gay. And so
What are you
I
calling
think
it?
it's kind of segmented.
Hey, no.
Oh,
so I
sorry.
don't see it as
Or it's used for
like
people who are interested in trying new things.
Wait, no one told you that you would be gay to be in this room? Wait.
All right, one at a time. Sorry, let him finish his question.
I'm not even trying to make a joke. I'm just saying, like, when someone says, Grindr or Tinder, I don't see it's not like they're competing for the same customer. You know what I'm saying? Like they are. There's probably a little bit of overlap, but if you look at like the person that's going to Grindr versus the person that's going to Tinder, I think they are looking for specific dating pools. So I was just curious where you see the competition coming from.
So like true love compared to just hookups?
The money comes from advertisers, not users, so it doesn't really matter who the people are. It's just who's going to buy their swipes or the viewing of the swipes.
And you have to look at dating as a whole pie, right? So it's the pie of who gives a shit, right? If people are banging opposite sex, same sex, it doesn't matter. It's a big pie, and who's getting pieces of it? And Grindr's got this piece of it.
Additionally, the population on Grindr is going to be biased to the higher wealth range. So they have more flexibility in monetizing and greater income from that source.
Yeah, but if you're asking why they're comparable, it's because they're all based around the same metrics. It's how many users do you have, how much are they spending on average, and you could generalize that to every company. But I mean, I think two dating apps, those numbers would be very significantly more comparable. Go ahead, Ted.
Opinion, I'm asking for a friend. Are they going to have a monkeypox category?
Oh my god.
I'm not going to answer that.
I had a comment.
Are we
If you're looking for competition research, you could try Craigslist. I think that's what the gays use.
Yeah, like
Actually,
1999.
Craigslist got
Alright,
rid of
I
their
think-
personal
Was that
profiles
gay?
one
What?
time ago.
God damn! This is
We've
the
done
worst ever.
enough on this topic. What
I
are the views
have a
everyone has to
question.
share?
Hardy, I have a question.
Grindr, buy or not?
Hard to say. I don't see their options market, so I can't tell what the rest of the market is saying.
So
personally, because
question,
it's a de-SPAC, my suspicion is that 180 days from now, when the pipe shares are unlocked, it'll dilute the float dramatically, which means downsies, lower than your bottom.
I want to see a musical right now.
So someone talked about
So
wealthier clientele for Grindr. Someone talked about having wealthier.
Yep, that was me.
Is Grindr going to become?
So on the question for the wealthy clientele, does that mean that all the broke gays currently on this chat have no luck on that website or that application?
That's what Wendy's is for.
If I may, really quick, because I've done a fair amount of research on it. I'm trying to find the article now, but it appeared that the fair market value is going to be around $10.50 a share. I'm looking for the article now. That did the math and showed it.
That's a SPAC price.
Yeah,
that was the math done out after what the acquisition deal was. I'm trying to find it now.
Was that inches or dollars?
Nice.
I
think talking about higher end clientele. I've been putting money in Norwegian based on that and recession fears. I figured the rich will still have money to spend on cruises, so I put money in Norwegian. Good, bad?
Yes. No. Tell us more about cruise stocks.
I don't think
Norwegian CCL.
One of them is building a bunch of new ships. I know I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, so I've really been bullish on Norwegian since they were down at the beginning of October till like 11. I sold at 17, and now I'm looking to go back in now that it had a major drop yesterday.
Well, what caused you to sell and exit your position? You just reached the price you were looking for.
Money. I fell for all the fucking propaganda about like the CEO and CFO selling a little bit of their shares, and then just Credit Susie downgrading from $20 to $14. So I got a little
Credit Susie.
Credit Suisse?
Yeah, so I got spooked. I'm kind of new, so anyways, I sold, and then I'm looking to get back in.
Here's the thing about the cruise industry. There are two strategies going on right now. You have one where everything is being unbundled, so you can get the passengers onto the ship and fill the ships at a very low daily price. And then you just jack up the price of all the add-ons. Room service used to be free, used to be included. Now it's $7 a delivery. Oh, you want to go to that premium restaurant? It now costs 40% more. Casino payouts and the odds have been adjusted accordingly. So the strategy that Royal Caribbean and Carnival are adopting is maximizing the size of the captive audience and then milking them for as much money as possible. Norwegian has taken the stance where the fares are much more all-inclusive. So we'll see to what extent that allows sustained growth in either sets of companies.
What do you mean they changed the odds on the cruise ship?
The slots used to pay, let's say, 3-1 with 29% odds. Now it's 25% odds, or something that increased the edge of the casino.
Basically, like what you're talking about is not true, but possible. Like Carnival and Royal Caribbean use two different, like they have two different strategies in terms of casino games. So like people that use casino offers to get cruises are manipulating a lot of reward systems. So for example, like if I go into a casino and get status at that casino, there are ways to basically match my status across every single
you're
casino
talking about
property.
land-based casinos.
Right.
I'm talking about the casinos on board.
Right. But they're using casino marketing in land-based casinos and matching offers across cruise ships. So from what I can tell, it's not necessarily that they're changing the odds. It's just that slot machines in general have a range of settings, and it's in the best interest of the casino when you have people that gamble that are coming to your cruise ship specifically to gamble, that you would just set the game on the base return to player, which is usually around 85% for most games, but they do range from 85 up to 92. So I just want to be clear, like when we're talking about changing odds on machines, like it's not that, oh, like fuck you guys, all the odds are changed. Like that's what they're doing with blackjack when they go 6-5. But on machines, like you might have one at 85, you might have one right next to it at 92. And like I just want to be clear that they're not changing the odds. There's just like settings that range between the machines.
To get back to the initial point of how Royal Caribbean and Carnival are charging less for their fare, but then charging more once they're on the ship compared to Norwegian's approach of keeping everything similar pricing and everything's included. What do you think? Which approach is better?
Spirit Airlines approach sucks. So I would say the all-inclusive where you pay more going in and not don't get fucking charged out the ass after you're there.
Copy, because most cruises are return customers, and I think by doing all these add-ons that Royal and Carnival are doing, they're not going to get those repeat customers, whereas Norwegian will still maintain that constant return customer satisfaction.
I don't know about that on Norwegian. Last time we cruised on Norwegian, they included the beverage package, but they had a mandatory tip of like 15 to 25% on every drink that you purchased. And they jacked up the prices of the drinks so that the tip was higher. And I'm pretty sure the servers did not see that tip. That went to the cruise lines because it was mandated by them. And I'll never go on Norwegian again.
Can I ask a question about a play, please?
Please.
So just to edify me here, and so I can understand this, when there are a large amount of puts out of the money, is that essentially what can lead to a short squeeze? Like people have to cover their positions because their puts are significantly lower, or just lower than the current price?
Not a put.
Well, that's the right to sell, right? So is that not? Because I guess it's not borrowing the shares.
The right to sell means the demand will drop because more and more sellers are on the marketplace. Gamma squeezes, though, I think, which is what you're alluding to, can work in both directions.
Okay, I just didn't understand how that worked properly, because I thought when your put was out of the money and it's going to expire, that you needed to like actually cover that somehow.
No,
it's free.
That's all.
Oh, okay, so it's just you just risk whatever and you're screwed basically. Okay.
Yeah, you're thinking of short interest where people are borrowed shares that they don't own and they owe them back, and so that's
when
that's
they're
the short squeeze.
they're invested into it. Okay.
So they have to buy them back no matter what price, and that's where the squeeze happens.
There we go. Okay, then that leads significantly less credence to FDMT. I mentioned that earlier in the week, and what was it, like Tuesday, I think, and it was around like $15 something. It's up to like 22-ish now, and the price target is still 68. They haven't said anything about taking it off of buy, so that's still a thing.
Is there a bunch of open interest or something on the puts?
I had seen last night on my Thinkorswim here that it was showing like 900 something puts that were out of the money. But that if that isn't correct, then that doesn't matter.
What stock is it again?
FDMT.
Well, it's not a short squeeze, but there still definitely could be a play here.
Yep. Another firm gave it a buy rating with a price target of 36. Goldman Sachs gave it 68.
So what puts are you looking at?
There were 17.5 and 20 it showed, but I can't see any right now because it's not letting me look at them on my phone.
17.5, there's 194 open interest. 20, there's 383 open interest.
And then 22.5 as well.
175 open interest.
It was showing me the actual volume of the.
Yeah, the volume's all reset to zero because the data.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the volume that I had seen was like almost 900 between them, which I thought was a significant amount for a 725 mil market cap. But that's just why I'm bringing that up. There's that, and nope, I'm not going to mention that one because that one's below market cap. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to offer up. That it's still going up. People are still marking it with higher price targets.
Thoughts on the IPO, if I could?
Yes, absolutely.
Miso Technologies. I heard of Flippy. They're making these automated restaurant devices or robots, and they're doing an IPO. They're trying to get money together before the IPO. Any thoughts?
Could go down, but could also go up. But it's probably going to go down.
I feel like historically that's been a very difficult industry, and it's just cheaper to buy humans. Tesla's also doing something interesting with their robots, but I don't know if they're anywhere reasonable. And then, actually, yeah, who owns Boston Dynamics? They're a company that perpetually gets sold between companies, so I lose track.
Hyundai.
So not much interest. Then it's probably a bust.
I'm not a robot.
Well, you don't know. Like the thing is, like,
yeah, I got a serious question.
I'm not a cat.
As long as the business is priced well, then it's a buy. So, you'd have to look into it closely and see whether the price makes sense. But did somebody have a question?
Yeah, I got a question. So, Mr. Hardy Erection, are you an AI? And the second question, what the fuck is Credit Suzy?
I am not an AI. I am also not a cat.
That's a deep fucking value joke. If anybody in the listening thing doesn't get that.
I'm not a robot cat.
And Credit Suzy is sort of like Moasis.
You see, Hardy was very careful and deliberate. He didn't answer the question whether he was an AI or not.
I said
I posted a.
Well, you sound like an AI.
Oh, sorry. Did you say you were internet?
Yeah, I explicitly said I wasn't.
That's exactly what an AI would say.
I'm an AI. I have a very strong lineage. I have on my dad's side, it's Deep Blue, the chess robot, and then on my mom's side is Siri from Apple.
I've achieved singularity.
Heard Siri's a whole.
I think Hardy is 100% one with the blockchain because I never hear him lag or anything.
The last time I checked, AIs couldn't have babies, so I think that's ridiculous. No erection exists. He talks to us occasionally, and Hardy is not a computer. His brain works like one, but he is not.
He's only hard.
Slut spoiler. I just want you to know that I also spoil my wife. Like you.
Oh, nice. Yeah. One day I hope to change my name to Wife Spoiler.
I got a Grindr update for opinion. It's currently trading at $14.40 pre-market. It closed at $11.63.
Talking about Grindr, of course.
Yeah, Tiga. So my question is, how does this? If this is an IPO, what are they? They're taking over TIG. Their GRND is becoming Tigger. Or how does that work with the SPAC?
Good luck, everyone.
No, I believe they're becoming GRND. So going forward, I think probably today you'll be able to try, buy or trade GRND if you so wish. But that being said, we've got 1 minute left. Does anyone want to shout out their last plays or gains, losses? You can continue on for a couple more minutes. Oh, that's the bell.
It's the bell. $15 Grindr.
I lost
all my marbles back. That has been successful.
1689 Grindr.
69.
I posted a question on retail plays in the commentary.
$17 Grindr.
Is Grindr a buy or a trade?
I immediately just gained $500 on FDMT calls for December 16th.
I am now in the green on my GME position.
Nice.
How far did you go down before you became green?
I can't remember, or at least I tried not to look.
Fair enough.
I'm thinking about throwing maybe a few lottery tickets at GME just to see if these tokenized stocks falling out has anything to do with the short locate.
What's going on with GME? It's been on a little bit of
swing here. I've got some shares, but my average is way too high right now. It's at like fucking 30.
Well, as I was saying yesterday in Scald's talk, that it's defying the laws of economics of almost the majority now. 59% of these shares from the float have been locked in a long position. So the supply has now been depleted and the price is stabilized. Should be going up. We were talking about how maybe theoretically you could be using a tokenized stock as a locate for a share so that you could short it. And then, of course, as we know, FTX was all just fluff and nothing. So now that all those tokenized stocks are illuminated as not being real, there's a bunch of naked shares out. This is all hypothetical. There's a bunch of naked shares out there, naked shorts out there that need to either find locates or be closed out.
Can I?
And it's in the range of 1 million shares. So there's 1 million naked shares out there that is technically illegal unless they can find a way to wrap them up in some sort of ETF or swap.
Hey, just really quickly. Yes, absolutely. However, we talked about this yesterday a bit, and we really won't see some good movement on this until the failure delivers on December 15th. So I think you're right, but like until that happens, we're not going to see things actually start popping off, right?
Well, you're assuming that they're going to wait until they have to record their failure to deliver. What if you look at the price, if you look at the chart, it looks like GME's been climbing since this whole FTX thing, and I think it's because these people want to close out their position before they have to record it, before they have to get a fail to deliver.
Exactly.
A fail to deliver is something that these people do when they are willing to openly share the fact that they just missed the deadline.
So how would a tokenized share actually impact this? Because it's not like they actually had a share, right? So like I get that it's held in a token, but it's not really a share of GME. They're not really shorting off anything, right? So isn't it kind of like me saying like I might own Aaron Rodgers in fantasy football, but I don't own Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, so
like same notion.
Let me lay it out. You guys mind if I do this? Might take a minute.
Not at all.
Please.
Okay, so I'm a son of a bitch who wants to short GME, and before I do that, I need to find a share to borrow so that I can sell it on the market. Okay, let's say I need 1 million shares. Well, in order to do that, I need to get a locate, which means that I need to find a real share and find someone who's willing to lend a real share to me before I sell it. These tokenized stocks, they seem to have a legitimate one-to-one correlation and be approved by the SEC. This is where it gets messy. I haven't looked into it enough. I've been busy with other shit. If they were using these tokenized stocks as a locate, they say, okay, we located the tokenized stock. Sam Bankman, he goes on his little Excel sheet and he says, okay, I'll lend you 1 million of these, 1 million tokenized stocks, and then they can print these shares out of nothing and sell them on the market because they have found a locate in the tokenized stock. FTX crumbles, right? Because it turns out they didn't have anything, any real holdings, real crypto, or whatever. All of these tokenized, everything that was tokenized was pixie dust, a fugazi. So now you've got a whole bunch of sold shares short, and they're naked because you don't have a locate.
But wouldn't
and
they
it's
be,
actually illegal to do that. So you need to buy these back.
But wouldn't they be short the token, not short the GM? Like if I'm borrowing the tokenized share, I get that you're saying like, oh, but they said it was a share. But if I'm borrowing the tokenized share, then selling out on the tokenized share as a short, I owe the token share. I don't owe the GME share because I never touched the GME share, even if someone says it is, because it wasn't.
Yeah, but okay, but there's a wall here. There's a wall between a the stock market and this FTX centralized exchange. And when you say, and you owe a token or whatever, well, you don't. You got to see it like this. I go to Sam and I say I want to use this coin right here as a locate, and he says sure thing. Well, he doesn't have the token in the first place either. There's no regulation back there. There's no insight back there. It's just a black hole of information, and you don't know what's going on behind this wall. Well, then FTX collapses. Yeah, so
It's the perfect.
There's fraud. It's fraud, basically. You just got frauded. You just got told that there was a token that you can base a locate on, and there wasn't a token that you can base a locate on. So Sam lied to you.
Can I ask a quick question about that? Like, what is causing them to actually have to fulfill that token obligation? It's like a backroom, back channel kind of thing. It's not like a contract, like a naked put. It's just, it doesn't seem like there's anything that enforces that failure to deliver.
Well, the whole thing is that they have sold these shares and they're phantoms. So now there's people own those shares. Somebody spent money and bought these shares with no locates, which are naked. That's their obligation. It's not a market mechanic. It's that one person that is holding those shares that is owed whatever the stock price is.
They're not
when they
shares.
sell.
Yeah, but they're not shares. They're tokens. That's what I get confused by. Sorry.
It doesn't matter. People were using them as the locate. So if brokers were treating them as shares for the purposes of options and solvency, and then we found out they're not, then therefore they have to figure it out. That's how it works.
Yeah, you're thinking this is some sort of like material object that's getting passed between people. It's not. It's just ticker. It's an Excel sheet that's just being added. It's just being added.
Think of it as a dilution of however many shares FTX was offering into the actual supply and demand equation. It's a dilution. So it has an effect of not allowing the price to drive up when shares are bought where it should, because those shares don't exist and supply should be more restricted in comparison to demand. But he's added to the float by doing this.
But how do we know that brokers are using it as locates?
They were using it as collateral.
There was a disclosure that said that they were using hybrid shares as locates. It was posted to our Superstock.
Scald, were you Sorry, slut. Scald, were you the beautiful bastard who mentioned AGNC this morning?
Yes.
I am.
Well, I am already printing at 50%, so God bless you and your beautiful face.
Yes, it do go up. Well, it go down, but we've got puts, so.
But we've got puts, so we are happy.
Wait, did the housing data come out?
Housing data does not come out till 10 a.m. Front running that data, I have called mortgage brokers in 2 different jurisdictions, one in New England, saying that high premium houses that are over $400,000 are actually slightly up. But I've also called a broker in the Midwest, in the in the Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma region, and that broker is saying
pretty
that
wide
housing
region.
sales are down. So I wish I had better information for you to front run, but it looks like it's going to be
I'm just
mixed.
curious. Housing is, if you look at open versus AGNC, it looks like they're marking down their housing prices. So I'm wondering if you could also short open as well as AGNC.
I'm not familiar with that ticker.
Yeah, when does open? I would be interested to know when Open's data comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, shit. Open's been on a fucking downward slide for a while. Oh man.
I mean, we're regards here, but at least we're informed regards.
Yeah, if both brokers had told me housing sales are down, then I would be doubling down, to be honest with you. But one said it was up, one said it was down.
I think it's like I'm curious what the average time on the market is.
It's double. Average time on the market right now is roughly double nationwide, and housing is down. If I'm in the market
relative to which period? Year over year?
Oh, since the spring. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that. So the thing I wanted to kind of pivot to, Scald and whoever is in the housing market, I didn't see who was pinging the talk, but does it sound like the Fed's hike is doing its job? Are we seeing the housing market slow down immensely? Are people not borrowing as much because they can't afford it? Is that the trajectory it looks like it's going? And if so, what are our projections for the next Fed talk?
One of the possibilities is that new home sales decreased slightly in velocity, which we're seeing, right? More days on market. But it's possible that new home sales doesn't actually slow down, but instead housing prices begin to drop to reflect interest rates. This is what happened in the 1980s. So in the 80s, when we were in a high interest rate environment, home prices actually started to drop because people realized they were going to be paying close to double digit premiums on their mortgage interest. And so therefore, home prices began to be depressed. I'm not sure how much of that we're seeing in the current market. I feel like it's probably lagging, right? So now there's high interest rates and high prices, but I could see home prices start to bleed down if the 1980s are any indication.
And foreclosures are picking up, so you're going to see a combination of everything, right? But it is going to, I would say, the next 6 months before you see any real effect of this. Right now, you're just seeing weekly. You're seeing prices go down. Houses are remaining on listed longer.
I mean, that's not surprising, but also I think whoever was talking about time on the market being higher now than it is in spring, I think that's very unsurprising. Housing is a seasonal market, like most markets, and I think spring is typically the busiest season, right?
Spring is when a lot of states have first-time home buyer incentives, which they can usually give up to. In Ohio, at least, they give you $5,000 to pay towards your down payment and closing costs. So that's a big thing for Ohio. I don't know about other states.
What about building? Who could we look at to see how much building activity is going on?
Well, I actually have some data on that. The building, at least in the Midwest, I've seen a dozen reports with these building companies laying off their workers, a huge downsizing. And that's due to two reasons. One, we're heading into the winter season, and building just doesn't happen in the winter season. It's too fucking cold. Especially when you get to like the northern Midwest, it's freezing, and the Northeast is also freezing. So building companies stop building in the winter season and starts to pick back up in the spring. However, there's been an even larger drop off in that because there isn't a demand at the moment for new houses to be bought, right? The mortgage rate has gone through the roof, so people can't afford to buy brand new constructed houses currently. They're looking to, if they have it, they're looking to buy cash and cut $40,000 off the asking price, or they're looking to mortgage something that they can afford for now and then move up to a bigger house when the market is better.
Somebody has their mic unmuted while they're going through their morning bathroom routine.
I think it might be Opinion's sweet butt that we're hearing.
I'm sorry, I'm saving that for Grindr. My bad.
He's very excited. Grindr's been halted. It's up so much. It's too much for him to hold in.
Yeah, I actually have another question on Grindr. Is Opinion and Sad in your in your expert opinion, is it going to overtake Twink as the power bottom of the bear market?
I think to see who comes out on top.
Hey, there it is. Way to go, Hendrik.
Oh God! I think despite the name, the very misleading name, Twink, Hostess Brands is actually very different than Grindr with their Hooters business line.
They could have a great combination, though.
Yeah.
One thing that they do have
Grindr,
in
get a
common,
Twink.
though,
It sounds perfect. It would be a great collab.
there is one thing in common, though. They both love creamy fillings.
Let me save your biscuits here, Opinion. Let's change the subject a little bit. We've got a question from one of our favorite regulars. She's at the airport at the moment. This is Miss No, excuse me if I mess up this Hawaiian name. It's Makawa Makima Kamiya. There it is. Thank you. And we're sorry that journalist assaulted you earlier this week. I apologize on behalf of all of Wall Street Bets. But you were
that guy.
Yeah, he's a loser.
Fuck journalist.
Are you guys all retarded?
All right, shut up. All right, so she was asking about some retail plays. She said, Target dived most of the retail for this week, and she's a little bullish next week on some retail. And she was looking at tickers, Urban Outfitters, URBN, Abercrombie & Fitch, ANF, Burlington Co-Factories, BURL, AEO, American Eagle, DKS for Dick's, no comments, and GES for Guess. Anybody have any intelligible opinions about those tickers for next week?
Grindr at 19 reopened.
Okay, there's I have a DD on Victoria's Secret. I
The
wrote it
ticker for
about.
Grindr, real quick. Sorry.
GRND.
Thank you.
$20 a share, up 70%.
I'd wait that one out personally, though I am actually bullish on Grindr, but I would let that settle before I made any plays.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a huge influx of buying today.
I'd leave that alone for like a few months and let that settle. But I like it long term because dudes be horny, so it's always going to have clients.
GRND? Shit.
Okay, Makame, can you write those tickers in the comments so I can read them? But I wrote a DD on Victoria's Secret about.
They're in there, buddy.
Oh, they are.
Yep.
Anyway,
Pretty long post.
Add Victoria's Secret to the list.
What's their ticker?
VSCO.
And they report next week?
Yeah, I'm expecting some good stuff. They were a recession hedge for me, and they have been doing just really great. So I wrote a DD all about it. You can look it up, but basically they're changing their company. They're doing a lot of really great things. They're diversifying their product line.
VSCL?
VSCO, yeah. And also the recession, it should be a boon for them because of certain economic factors.
So I can't afford gas, but I'm going to buy $50 panties for the wife?
You bet your ass.
If you know what's good for you.
Or you invest in Grindr. It's your choice.
But their price keeps going up.
I can't find it.
What's the ticker again? Yeah, GRND. It might not be available on all brokers just yet.
I can't see it. You can't see it on TD Ameritrade.
Does anyone know what the SPAC was called before it was changed to
TIGA Acquisition Corp was the SPAC. TIGA, TIGA.
The ticker was TINB. It's coming up as Grindr Group. So you want to look for Grindr Group, GRND, I think. Yeah.
GRND is the stock symbol. Yeah, it's $21.20, up 82% right now.
It's trying to prop up the SPY.
Fuck yeah.
It's trying to be the SPY's bottom.
I think it's going to pop.
It's exploding, and then it's going to go way down.
Yeah. Yeah,
after it explodes, people won't be in love with it and they'll move on.
Yeah, like Rad said, I think let that settle before you get into it for the long game.
I have a question on dividend stocks. Is there like some really good dividend stocks you guys could suggest? I have a few. I have a Home Depot, and I don't know how good that is as a dividend stock, but I've been doing that as a long.
Happy.
Have you heard of Dole?
The fruit company?
Hey, it's more than a fruits company. It's a technology lifestyle company.
It's not a fruit company. It's the fruit company.
To answer your question, Virtual Group, I think that what you should do is do a Google search by ex dividend date, and it'll populate a website that shows you the ex dividend date for the majority of the stocks coming up. And then you can look at kind of the date you need to get in by, and then do your DD on the individual stocks. I don't have one currently, but the most recent one I did was Chevron 2 days ago.
Well, that's if you want to collect. That's if you want to collect dividends, but typically the stock will fall by the amount of the dividend on that date. So I'm not sure how feasible
I think it's like the conversation we had the day of the Chevron was, the dividend's already priced in, but we're heading into the winter. At the time, this is before the missiles had hit Poland. I told you that Putin still had leverage going into the winter because of gas prices. So I thought that there was still upside being in a domestic producer. So I think you have to be able to make an argument for why this stock can go up, given that the percentage yield of the dividend is going to be reflected in the price.
Yeah, see, that's what I need to work on, because I see the percentage and I think, oh, that's really good. And then I do the math. I'm like, if the stock's worth so much, dividend so much, then I kind of I do a multiplication and I think that's it. But I'm missing so much, I think.
I think you got to add in the future cash value of the dividend that you're receiving, and then look at whether or not they're going to be profitable short term to actually pay that dividend. Because a lot of times you'll see these really high yields, you'll buy the stock, and then you'll realize that recently they actually canceled the dividend and are focusing on getting cash positive right now just because inflation's so high. So I don't know how to adjust for inflation relative to the yields. I'm sure it's like some future cost or of the dollar.
I think that's what I did with Annaly. It looked so good on paper, but like there was, like I said, that's when I realized that I'm not seeing something here.
Are you trading just to get the dividend and then getting out of the stock? What's your goal here?
No, my goal is just to have a little piggy bank that's just accumulating, and then all the dividends would just go back into buying more stocks, and then just having something on the side there, just a little nest egg.
I have a great winter
ETF called Weekly, WKLY. You might want to look at their holdings, and you can even buy some to get started. And if any of you are using Robinhood for options, they just gave you another half an hour. Check your email. They no longer close everything at 3 o'clock. It's now 3:30.
We were just complaining about that. Virtual group. I have a good winter dividend play for you, FLNG.
One more time, I'm sorry.
FLNG. They have they've got a great dividend.
Okay. FLNG.
And I believe it's quarterly. I have it. I'll put it in the comments.
I got one more, QYLD. It's a monthly dividend, averages 12.69%. QYLD, covered call ETF. So it's reliable. It's going to pay, but the ETF goes down. But over the long haul, I've got a lot of money tied up in it, and I think overall it's a good long-term dividend play.
Okay, I love it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I want to check these out. I'm going to start. I'm still studying and researching. I don't know, not even 0.01% of what some of you guys know, but I love you guys, man. You guys are teaching me so much.
Nintendo's over 10.50 a share, boys.
We love you too.
I didn't. I love Nintendo. I'm sorry.
Love you more.
Oh yeah, I'm green on my Nintendo position finally.
I will love you on Grindr.
Grindr's almost 100% up. That's
gonna be my handle.
What's Nintendo's ticker?
They got two. So the one that most people are in is NTDOY, and I think the other one's NTDOF.
Good morning, Simple. Nice.
Oh, Simple, you missed it. I shared a very profitable play today. It's something I'm very personally related to.
Oh, really? What was the play?
It was
Grindr.
Yes, Grindr.
It's also up 100%, so you shared a hell of a play.
He knows all about it.
It's exploding.
Simple. You might finally be able to find love.
You just gotta take that, Simple?
Gay is okay.
And also, there was a lot of love sharing a couple of minutes ago. Everybody saying, I love you. I have to point this out. I don't love anybody here.
I said nothing.
Yeah.
Simple, but we love you.
Damn right, we love you,
At,
Simple.
at least you must like someone here.
No, I only like money. Show me the money, not feelings.
Simple's like a cat. Everyone loves him, but he loves no one.
Get it
Except
right.
for the
He's a
money.
Shiba Inu, damn it.
Yo, Mask, you said you're up on Nintendo Plays. How much are you down on Looted?
Oh, I'm still down about 49% on Lucid currently, but I'm getting my loan and I'm buying some of that back today, as well as Sundial. So, yeah,
Please
things
don't
are
get a
looking
loan to buy stocks.
up. No, I'm getting this because I need to pay other shit off, dude. Like the stocks is just what I'm gonna be doing with the extra money. That's it.
I'm not gonna lie, I've taken a loan out to pay a margin call before, so.
You know, that's really funny. The culture in the US and the EU, like in EU, people don't take loans for, short time shit.
So what I'm hearing about for Nintendo, I'm hearing this new Pokemon game is flying off the shelf.
Well, it's a long play. I've got about $2,000 in it. I'm holding them all the way through May of next year or something like that. The Breath of the Wild 2 is releasing sometime around then, and then we should see earnings a little bit after that. The earnings after Breath of the Wild 2 is the end of my play. And so I've been holding them since before the split. I bought $2,000 worth at 50 a share, and it's split down to 10, 30 or whatever. I'm hoping I can get up towards 15. We'll see.
So some black market knowledge here. When that first Breath of the Wild came out, it was also released on Wii U, which could be emulated on a computer. So some of these Breath of the Wild sales, the first one, they weren't reflected because they were being pirated. The Switch, from what I am aware of, doesn't have a full emulator yet. So
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, reuse.
Fucking A, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. Wait. Ryu. I have it pulled up just over here. 1 second. So sorry. Ryu Jinx is the name of the Switch emulator.
So the emulator existed. Emulators have existed for as long as games have, as far as I can tell. And so, in terms of Breath of the Wild 1, the emulator existed. Then Breath of the Wild 2 appears. The emulator is going to exist. I think the time period there is the big deal because you're not going to see a pirated version of that game for at least a couple of weeks after release.
I'm not sure if that's going to be entirely accurate with the team that's working on Ryu Jinx. They have been very up on it, and people are assuming that there will be.
Oh man, you gotta fix that.
I think his flashlight broke.
Oh, you don't like that finance ASMR?
My apologies. Not sure what was going on there. Yeah, so Ryu Jinx definitely has a team that is basically trying to get it ready for the Pokemon game that came out. However, something to also note is that this Pokemon game is getting review bombed because the performance is absolutely ass on the Switch. It might still make some sales, but there may be people who will bounce off of it because of how poorly it's performing on the Switch. And people are looking to emulators to be able to actually run it at an actual reasonable frame rate.
Are you talking through an emulator right now?
Is that performance bad on all Switch consoles or just the older ones?
I believe it's all because even the OLED model does not have any hardware updates besides the screen.
Right, they didn't update the processor on the OLED, which I was hoping that they would. I've been waiting for a Switch 2.0 for a while.
Is the Nintendo Switch Lite worse processor, or is it the same?
I would think it's probably about the same. I think
it's
the
the
main
same-
thing is
It's the same processor. They got rid of the Joy-Cons being removable, which you could look at it as good or bad, considering the Joy-Cons have a huge hardware problem with stick drift. So, older Switches are actually more in favor, the ones with the removable Joy-Cons. Just my 2 cents.
Gotcha. Awesome.
And also the light doesn't you can't get it on, you can't project it onto your TV, right? Like you can't plug it into your TV.
Correct. The light is strictly handheld mode.
Yes, I prefer my light 2 inches away from my face as opposed to a few feet. I don't know, what are the other like video gaming companies doing? I feel like I really haven't heard about any gaming companies other than Nintendo.
There's the Microsoft Activision merger, and I think a good play would be to start looking at what Sony's going to do to combat this acquisition. I think that they're going to try and acquire someone.
I think it feels like all these acquisitions are getting blocked. I think, especially in light of Meta, anything Meta is trying to buy getting blocked. So, I mean, I don't know if that necessarily spills over, but given the huge, like, I assume that's why Activision is trading at such a big spread to its potential acquisition price.
It's not the U.S. blocking the Microsoft Activision. That's the U.K. that's getting involved in that. And they can't so much block it as they can, if they rule unfavorably, they can like screw around with Microsoft's ability to do business in the UK, which would still be a problem for them. But they can't like flat out say, no, you can't acquire them.
You know, I've wondered for a long time, like, what happens if Microsoft decides to write off a nation? Do they just lose Windows? Does anybody have any idea what happens if that happens?
I mean, that's why Russia is now using Windows XP, because they're not supporting any of the newer Microsoft products in Russia.
But I was wondering. I didn't know that had happened to Russia. Cool.
Oh yeah, they got wrecked. And the interesting thing about Windows XP is there's zero DT, like there's 0-day exploits that are unpatched, and they've stopped supporting XP. So there's just security vulnerabilities in Russian systems right now. You know,
how are they not using like Debian or what? Why would they go to XT?
I mean, it's Russia.
I mean, there's videos of Vladimir Putin doing internal video chats on Windows XP.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I saw that shit. It's on his desk in his pictures.
Yeah. So it's like, bruh, and like I'm sure it got leaked because of what I just said. It's like it's not a secure system.
Fuck Putin.
All right, my bad. I fucked up the plays. Sorry.
Well,
Man, am I glad.
So anyways, what the Meta thing and the Microsoft Activision thing, I think they're being blocked for different reasons. It's a different scenario.
Has housing reports come out yet? Because SPY is taking a nice, cliff dive.
Yeah, I noticed.
Sorry, which one was taking a cliff dive?
SPY.
Is anyone looking at the housing data? It should be out.
That's what I'm saying. I heard it was 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it came out at 10. I'm just too lazy.
Yeah, somebody tell me.
Where's Scald? Scald.
Oh, he left.
I wonder if
must be really bad data.
That's what I was like. Wait, something bad must have happened if Scald left.
He's like, oh fuck, I was wrong.
His AGNC play.
I see existing home sales 4.43 versus 4.38 prior, 4.71 estimated prior, 4. Yeah. So it says existing home sales for October 430 million versus 4.38 million consensus estimate. The prior reading was 4.7 million.
So I heard that right. They went up. Home sales went up. Is that right?
Looks like it.
It's weird that
Home sales
expired.
went up relative to which time period? Compared to last quarter or compared to last year?
It doesn't tell me. Hold on. I'm trying to find the article itself. It just gave me the headline.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also,
AGNC is kind of flattish. So if he held, maybe there's like, it's not doing too much there for him. Or if he was holding puts, maybe he's getting hit with some IV crush.
I need a good dump on SPY anyway.
Are we looking at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development report? Is that what you guys are looking? Okay, so the October
4.43 versus 4.41. So home sales slightly beat expectations, but expectations are still down dramatically from last year. 4.43 versus 4.41. Expected AG&C is still going downward, and the SPY is still going down. I don't have an explanation for it, but I'm happy.
Buy the rumor and sell the news.
I was about to talk about Twitter, but we can't.
I just posted the report that I think we're talking about in the comments. If anyone can confirm.
Well, it's in the vein of Twitter. How does everybody feel about Tesla? This is a shit show, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to go well for Tesla.
I think we're overreacting. I think Tesla,
Elon's fucking up. He needs to shut his
Tesla's
fucking
completely
mouth.
fine.
I'm about to do a day trade here on Tesla here. About to buy some.
Anybody else see Amazon drop dramatically this morning? I was like, fuck, should have bought a put at market open.
Scald's back.
I wonder why. Because, well, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Twitter laid off another 75% of its staff, or at least 75% of its staff voted no in order to, in their hardcore survey. So that means since the beginning of this month, Twitter has lost 88% of its staff. So
yeah,
I would imagine 88%. So almost 1 out of 10 people are left.
Yeah, he's 100% just gutting the company. I mean, I think we all knew this was going to happen. I just don't think that we. I just don't think that we expected him to do it this fast and this ruthlessly. But he is.
Well,
he's gutting the company so that he can replace.
Hey, my girlfriend just said that's what people get for trash talking Elon on Twitter.
Well, I think he's working to flip it. Like the first thing you do with the house, right? You gut it. He's gonna sell this thing back for try and get his money back.
I don't think he is going to get his money back though. At $44 billion, I think he's gonna have to sell it short. I think he is going to 100% lose money on this investment.
Yeah, I can't figure it out because it's not even like technology. Twitter's not that fucking impressive, so I don't get it.
Like he's like so like you look at like what happened with Tesla, right? He was taking out these junk bonds, and that's how he got his basic money for the company. Now that cashed out, that worked in his favor, but this is way too big of a risk. And the problem is that he paid asking price for Twitter. He didn't try.
That's the thing, though. It's more like a vacation home for him than it is an actual company. It's just like a little plaything. It's not anything real to Elon.
Yeah, but
I mean,
when you leverage your company's your net worth is tied to this company's value. So you're the richest man in the world because of Tesla, and you've taken $44 billion, not all of Tesla money, but you are losing the value of why you had that net worth, and you are no longer going to be the richest guy in the world.
Yeah. I'd like to clarify, he didn't just pay asking. He paid asking price, like market price for Twitter in a bull market at its near peak.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
So he paid above asking on any other given day. I don't see how he's going to come out of this unscathed. Like he's 100% gonna take a hit for this.
So
That's
here's
what's
the most ironic part of this is who can save the day but Donald Trump. So if Trump came back to Twitter, and I think that's the power play that's going to happen. If he goes back to Twitter, Twitter's going to get popular again, and you're going to have a fucking millions and millions of more people on Twitter every day.
I think. All right, listen, for real. I think the only person in the world that anybody talks about more than Elon Musk is Donald Trump, and I think Elon Musk bought Twitter specifically so that he could stop Trump from being popular. That's it.
What do you
I think he wants more.
What's a play we can make with that
No, that's
information?
not.
Tesla's
Okay,
gonna
yeah.
take
Well,
a
I was gonna
shit.
say that it's obvious that
D-twat.
Elon has to keep on selling off his shares of Twitter, even though he says he's not going to sell anymore.
You mean
His
Tesla?
shares of
You mean
Twitter
Tesla?
or Tesla?
Selling
He's
the shares.
selling.
Tesla, yeah.
Okay.
Tesla, yeah. There's like as much as wrapped up in Tesla and as much money as that's made him as big as that company is today, it's going to be really hard for him to get through this Twitter shit without Tesla's board or whatever going, or even the investors going like, "Hey, what the fuck, guy?"
Yeah, not even the investors, the banks that loaned
Yeah.
portions of that sale for Twitter. It's like Scald said, he bought it in. I love Scald fucking doing the Kramer emojis. It's like Scald said with the amount of money that he paid in a bull market for this company. You know, it's like he went to the Ford dealership, bought a brand new Ford Mustang off the line, and then took it to a used car lot and is like, how much are you going to give me for this? It's already depreciated. He's gutted the entire company. It is depreciated at least 20 billion from what he started with. So he's not just gutting the house to flip it. He knocked the entire house down.
Okay, let's ask this question: if hypothetically, if Twitter takes a shit and it goes down this weekend, how does that impact other companies that rely heavily on Twitter?
Twitter doesn't trade.
Right. I'm not saying that they do, but there's a lot of companies that rely on Twitter for their presence, and they're potentially about to lose that.
Well, what companies are largely, I feel like it's largely lifestyle businesses that are completely reliant on Twitter. Everything else is Twitter is just one of many channels.
Well, I would go long on their competitors. Twitter is mostly used for people to get news, breaking news. The the first most place to get news is from Facebook. So I would, if they go down, I would look at their competitors, which is Facebook,
Wait, who's
Google.
getting their news from Facebook?
You're not getting your news from Facebook? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't get my news. I don't get my news from Facebook, but this is what the numbers say. The numbers suggest a bunch of old people are getting their news from Facebook.
How does this road for a Reddit IPO? That's my question.
That'll never happen.
I know it. I know we keep saying that, but like, I mean, wouldn't that be a great time to IPO as Reddit if Twitter like completely shits the bed?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a bad idea, honestly.
Did anybody read about Hillary tanking Twitter with getting sponsors, people, people to not spend on advertising during the transition? Did anybody else read that?
That would make sense because despite you guys saying that Elon is not pro-Trump, he's very much pro town square vibes, and he wants Trump on there, he wants Hillary on there, he wants them to be able to debate back and forth. He wants Twitter to be the place where news is broken, where citizen journalism is on the uprise. Like,
I feel like if he wants that, maybe don't kill it first. That's probably a good idea.
What I want to know is why did he lock everyone out of the offices? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Why did Elon lock everyone out of the Twitter offices?
I can answer that question.
Free speech.
Have you met a egotistic CEO or worked for one at a startup?
It's actually the opposite.
They
It's
do shit like
egotistic
that.
developers.
They're like, nobody's leaving 36 hours. If you don't work 36 hours, you're getting fired. Like, they make ridiculous demands. The company's private. Like, they break.
No. He locked everybody out of the building.
Yeah,
like
he didn't lock them in.
go into the
He
building.
didn't lock them in. He locked them out.
Oh, damn.
Well, he forced the people. He forced them.
Okay. The reason that he locked them out is because he He just came in and told a bunch of developers that are high-end engineer people that they're going to have to basically suck his dick and deal with it. And so he knew all these people were going to quit. The reason that he locked people out was that he didn't want people coming back in who were going to quit but didn't announce it and then sabotaging his shit. So he's living in paranoia is what it is.
I'm pretty sure
Well, it's
Big Mac and
reality.
Johnson are still there.
It's reality,
Took a
right?
picture with them.
Yeah. Literally what's happening at Twitter right now is the definition of a cyberpunk corpo takeover. Literally. It's literally what's happening.
With a lot less murder.
So my question is, if Trump bought Twitter and his ex-girlfriend Grimes, her name
Trump
is,
can't afford Twitter.
he fucking blocks. So Elon blocks his ex-girlfriend Grimes, the singer, I guess. And
I thought they were married.
Wouldn't that go ballistic if that was Trump? If he blocked like an ex? That's
Wait,
classic.
Grimes is his mom,
the
mother of his child, right?
Sad just said with that comment about Trump, Trump couldn't afford to buy Twitter. Right? Like
Can we take a turn? This is not. I feel like this is not going to go into any type of plays or market related things if we go down this rabbit hole.
You're right. Let's bounce back. Anyway,
I do want to say one thing real quick. My Twitter calls are still adding to my value for my account. I did the math. They're still counting them as if I owned these Twitter calls. Now they have a pretty low price on them, but they're still adding $4 a contract to my collateral. I don't know what the hell that's about.
That's funny.
So I just want to go back to this. Everyone gets their news from Facebook. What the hell do you mean?
It's a boomer thing. Boomers on fucking Facebook. They get their pick what type of tree you are quizzing.
Let's one at a time.
I posted a source in the comments. It's not like it's just where, if you remember back in 2016, 2020 elections and stuff, I think people just got hooked on all that stuff. Well, there's a bunch of Russian propaganda or whatever you want to believe on Facebook. And
what it all comes
down to in the comment.
There's two different types of people on the internet. There's people who are on the internet and there's people who are on Facebook. And I don't think that you personally have ever met anyone who is on Facebook.
You are on the internet.
I mean, but that's my point. Like
on Facebook, if all our parents are on Facebook,
I should say that differently. Hold on, you've never met anybody who takes their news from Facebook on Reddit, because most of the people here are not using Facebook to get their news.
I'm thinking of a publicly traded company that would benefit from Twitter going down. I'm not suggesting anything other than that, and Reddit is not IPO'd yet, so it's not.
It would be Facebook.
The only news source that I actually trust is Yahoo News. So that's all I trust.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's because you're an intelligent investor, not some guy looking to get into clickbait and all this other shared information between his friends.
Listen, if you're not getting all your stock plays on Facebook, you're doing it wrong.
All my news used to come from a
WallStreetBets Facebook group one.
Yeah. Shit. Why do we not have that opinion?
Take away the anonymity of Reddit.
No.
Do you really want
Does WallStreetBets really have a Facebook page?
We don't. There's some
please don't.
guy who had like a Robinhood affiliate link page, and then right when GME blew up, he switched over to the WallStreetBets namesake and has been having it ever since. I think it's got like 400,000 or something people in there that think WallStreetBets is whatever that Facebook group is.
Hey, there's no rule against brigading Facebook.
So, we're really missing out on the big play here. Grindr is halted for like the 6th time today. And
we missed out.
We missed out. It's up like 100%. It just keeps ripping. It's growing and growing and getting bigger.
It is growing and getting bigger.
It's exploding.
It's exploding.
What she said.
It looks like it's about.
It's not on TD Ameritrade. God damn it,
dude! I think we should give Titty the flair, the Warren Buffett of gay.
Warren Buffett of gay.
He's got an average share price of $2.50 on that puppy. The Warren Buffett of gay.
He is the Warren Buffett of gay.
Last price was $25.20 on Grindr, up 116% for the day.
Jesus Christ! I would hate to buy in now, though. You know?
No, not now, but it's
Short.
a good long-term hold. No pun intended.
I think you can trade options on it though, because it's a spec, right? So can't we trade like options on it day one?
No options yet.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
But as soon as those options come out,
that IV is going to be disgusting. You don't want to touch that.
Gonna give you monkeypox.
Sounds like Grindr.
So someone was on here earlier talking about money, wages, and how there's going to be richer folks on there or whatever. But
you guys get money?
Well, there's a correlation between gay people and higher incomes, higher disposable incomes.
But they ain't got no kids.
But that is not actually what men are attracted to. Men are more attracted to the attractiveness of their mates.
Just to be clear, some gay men do have kids.
I know that was a joke, a generalization.
I can confirm that child ownership is very expensive.
Congratulations on being a father, Mr. Bumble.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I can confirm that child ownership is very expensive. Like more than a boat. Boats break out another 1,000. Children.
Average lifetime expectancy to spend over $250,000.
Wait, Scald, so it's about a boat?
Oh no.
US
$180,000. That's like a pretty old number. That's like 10 years ago, man.
Yeah, it's over 300. It's over 300K US.
You know?
So you were saying the gays are richer than us, right?
Well, there's something called there's something called dinks. Have you ever heard of that? It's a San Francisco term. It means double income, no kids. As Dinkelberg from Fairly Odd Parents, they were more richer because they didn't have a kid. I could see this stock being very popular. Could see the stock be. Hold on one sec. Let's get our jokes in a minute. Just let me finish my thoughts. I could see that this stock would be very attractive to a bunch of people who want to support it, and the people who are supporting it do trend to have more disposable income.
I'd also say that there might be a premium on advertising because
that's a mouthful.
Just say
that was a mouthful.
That's what he said.
Grinder's a mouthful.
I can confirm about kids being expensive. Our daughter goes to daycare 2 times a week, every week, and it's $515 a month. $515 a month.
Yeah. No, okay. So I had kids 12 years ago. It was $300 a month per child 12 years ago.
Don't get me started on private.
Wow, I can't believe you guys are getting childcare so cheap.
So Grindr's trading again.
I'm paying over double. Guys, just get a Peloton.
Grindr's trading again. It's got a market cap of $941 million right now. What do we think of that?
Sounds low.
Honestly, I
like the advertising idea though.
I just tried to short Grindr at $27 and it rejected it. So they're not taking shorts yet.
I relayed this Grindr information to my girlfriend, and she makes a good point. It's a wonderful business because it's just a bunch of dudes with a bunch of money who are just down to fuck. And I mean, like,
Yep.
And your advertising demographic is all the same. Like, not all.
Holy
exactly
shit!
Same, but you know.
Okay, so check this out. Bumble, right? They got a market cap of 4.11 billion, and that's a fucking bullshit app.
I don't know, man.
Isn't Bumble the one where the ladies have to initiate the contact or some shit?
Yes, exactly. And of course that doesn't work.
What are you talking about? Hit the gym.
You said hit the gym?
I'm buying into Grindr. That's it.
Wait, I would wait.
You say I give up on Bumble. I'm just gonna go to Grindr.
That shit works. I promise you.
FOMO.
Are you FOMOing?
Holding the bag, baby.
Honestly,
you a homosexual?
Which one's better, Bumble or Grindr? Which one do you like better? Go.
Well, I'm looking for Grindr.
Grindr, dudes will always be horny. They're going to have unlimited clientele. It is a perfect setup. Literally, it's horny dudes looking for horny dudes at a never-ending line who tend to be a little bit more richer than other dudes.
So
I got a Grindr question for you. So Grindr that's the app where it'll tell you where the person is, right? I thought I saw something on TV where they're both in the same bar, and it says the guy's like 12 feet away from you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a stalker app. You can stalk.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's fucked. Wow.
It's not.
Oh my God! It's literal gaydar.
Yeah. I love it.
It just got halted again. Oh my God.
I know. I'm trying to borrow shares.
Wait, how does Grindr make their money? Do they like do a premium subscription? I have
There's
no idea.
advertising and probably a premium subscription.
Think about the advertising though. You know that your demographic is gay. I think that makes advertising pretty targeted. Like it will make it a lot
So much fucking Louis Vuitton.
Okay,
So
I've never downloaded the app, but I also think that there's heterosexual dating meetups on there as well.
And
That's not the primary. That's not the primary clientele. Let's be honest.
And when you have Hinge, you have Tinder, you have Bumble. There's no reason to go on there if you're looking for.
Well, wait. There's a big deal here. If there is heterosexual on there, women feel very much more comfortable with gay men.
Yeah, but that's
I feel like
that's
it's
what
more
every
attractive to women.
straight guy wants to have a
Trap
Grindr
site.
app on their phone in case they get caught. That makes no
They're
sense.
not gonna date a gay guy.
No, but they're going to feel safer in a gay environment, and it's going to push the toxic straight males out. Because how many toxic straight males do you know that are going to show up in the gay community?
No, listen. That's
So there's 17.
happen, friend.
So wait, there is straight dating on Grindr or not? I'm very.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Hold on.
Hold on. I don't think I'll download it. I'll take the sacrifice.
I'll download it. Get ready to see all the gay ads.
All right.
Take
all
it
right.
one for the team.
Can somebody confirm if there's straight dating on there or not?
Moving on from that.
It's not specifically targeted for one demographic. It's just that a demographic happens to use it. That's okay. It's just that a group happens to particularly like Grindr over a.
Thank you for explaining that.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you're all making genuine connections here.
Yeah.
We're just bullish on you, man.
Bullish on gay.
Speaking of queer,
There's way more upside in terms of the user base. Like, so if we all go like out of the money calls right now, all download the app and then start using it, let's say a week from now, their numbers are going to skyrocket because all of us that aren't already on it are going to start meaning.
Are you trying to convert me?
And then no, we all just go get a beer. We like use the app to get together and go get beer.
I think the gentleman is just.
Is this how it starts?
I live in Vermont. Do I get the advantage?
Is this how it all starts?
Yeah. Those
this
the next
Honey, I was in a WallStreetBets room getting some stock tips, and the guy said it was going to be an innocent just meet up with a Grindr app.
This is what the Republicans are worried about. I'm sorry I had to.
It went from stock tips to just the tip real quick.
I identify as a Grindr investor.
Sad Molasses is just like twitching both his eyes at this point.
What is going on here?
You know, this isn't fair to Sad. We should talk about veterans and keep it on.
No,
that is far too
heterosexual.
No,
please no.
Opinion. I honestly thought that was gonna be your.
You guys know any veteran ETFs?
With banana helmets yesterday.
Wait, I thought I heard something intelligent.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just made a trade. You know, speaking of queer, I bought some $3 sundial calls for January at 32 cents. I may have a problem.
Vail is opening up many of the resorts this weekend. Just saying, check out MTN. It's gonna start to go up through December.
Pump what?
Vail. They're gonna have announcements this weekend with their openings, but yeah.
Can I say something? Can I please talk something? Talk seriously about this Grindr thing.
Please,
really quick. Okay. The market cap of Match is 12.97 billion. The market cap of Bumble was something in the billions. I find that this Grindr, the whole business model seems to have returning customers. So that would mean to me that their current market cap of in the millions somewhere Yeah, this thing's going to go up.
That's what he said.
If they continue, if they can somehow copy the amount of advertising revenue, which is I'm assuming is their primary income source, then they should be doing all right. Then you need to take that and you need to weight it against the population of the against the population who are gay. So you're probably looking at like 10%, maybe 25%.
It's not just who's gay; it's like who could be gay in the future.
It's 40% of the callers here.
Yes.
Okay, so 40. Okay, let's just use 40 just to make everybody happy and gay, and we'll take that 40% and then we can extrapolate it.
It's 40% of just the Canadians here.
We'll extrapolate it to the revolving door that is Grindr, unlike Match and Bumble, and I think there might be one more that's publicly traded that are trying to set people up for the longer term. You know, this is something that I kind of this whole dating app stuff I think is pretty interesting stuff. So I'm not going to do a DD on it, but if somebody would like to, that'd be awesome.
Can you deep dive into Grindr for me?
Deep.
Balls deep.
I have a question for a longer term play. So for Peloton, is that
Fuck Peloton?
No, I'm asking, is that like a historical thing that would go up like for spammed New Year's resolutions or something like that, or what is the prospect of that?
So I actually worked for the company that makes Concept 2, or used to at least, and going into the winter season, especially starting in October, they do ramp up incredible amounts of production. Now, I don't work for them anymore, but I do have people that do, and I know Concept 2 has tripled their production this last month alone. I don't know what that will do for Peloton, but they're in the same industry.
Thank you, Randy.
Gotcha.
I'm already up 17% on my Grindr shares.
So no bullshit, right? Bullshit aside, if women can go and pick up straight dudes at Grindr, that changes things a lot.
What are you talking about, dude?
I'm serious.
No, but that's not the other thing you have to keep in mind is that there are straight men on Grindr as well that are using it as an outlet for sex. This is not something that the community like comes out and says. I'm just saying though, but that's a real thing that straight guys will go on there to get a quick fucking buck and then get the fuck off.
All right, Nedley, you are officially
sex with a guy on it.
Nedley, you are officially our gay ambassador. That's you, Nedley.
If you're the gayest guy in WallStreetBets, you're pretty gay.
Yeah, we're all really gay here.
Look, not that there's anything wrong with that. But
not at all.
Let's stop talking about the gay.
Are you guys watching this? It just halted again. It's at 33 now.
That's the only reason I'm still talking about it is the stock keeps going up.
So I got some thesis on some fundamentals on Grindr. Like I'm looking at like the countries that actually restrict this app because a lot of Islamic countries ban homosexuality. Because, well, for religious reasons, but a lot of people do use this to kind of stay in the down low. But in that term, basically, you don't want to. You're living in the closet essentially, and that's one of the things what Grindr could do is it kind of keeps an anonymity on who's down low. So
don't you have like a profile picture and shit like Tinder, or
well,
don't the countries also have access to who's going to be, whose traffic will be on that?
And do they have Bumble and Tinder?
I'm pretty sure if there's like anti-gay police, if they want to find you out in one of those countries, they'll probably do it.
Right, but
remember, model is to find the person that's next to you in a bar, right? I mean, how's that going to work? It's not like you can use a VPN and protect yourself like other social media that's prohibited.
But what this is saying is that it's a specialized service for homosexual men to meet other men who may or may not be interested in other men.
Yeah, the imams watching this now know they can just put Grindr on their phones as gaydar and go through the bars.
No, but like they will basically, the company itself will actually focus on protecting their clients. Instead of Bumble or Tinder, they're probably focusing on females getting raped by fucking bloodthirsty men. I don't
All
fucking
right.
What is this even
What,
coming
what the
from?
hell are we talking about here?
What is this?
Right, but the
But
Islamic
Yeah,
fleet.
what the heck? is
no,
going
but
on with
I'm just
people?
saying it's like the market cap could be much bigger. When you guys start talking about like the possibility, because it's a very underreported population outside of like the first world nations, so we don't really know how big this market cap be. So it could be like a fucking YOLO where you can get like some
So
ridiculous.
are you buying calls on this, or like what's going
Yeah,
on?
I'm gonna be buying shares. Probably gonna be wheeling in the beginning because I really
When?
don't know how. Well,
It's 33 now, and it was like 25 like
are
15
you
minutes ago.
serious? Then my limit buy didn't.
$33 a share. Jesus Christ.
Never
You
mind.
guys are missing out. I bought, man. I'm in. I am in
Your
Grindr.
your gaydar may be broken.
You know, we talked about this. Somebody mentioned this like last week, and honestly, we all should have bought in as soon as we could.
Yo, we were talking about it yesterday. A bunch of us bought in at $9 and we sold at 12. And
Oh my
we were
God.
all big ballers.
Come on, man. Like,
We definitely should have had Grindr on our radar for sure.
yeah, I feel like
just the market cap comparison is making me want to buy, or has made me want to buy. I'm already up, man. I'm already up like 17%.
Who diamond handed shares?
well, like, what's the top?
That
What's
would
the
be
question?
Titty. He's diamond handing a shit ton of shares.
I'll buy them.
So
Whoever wants
we
to sell Grindr shares, I'll
we were
buy
all
right
buying
now,
in at like
$33.
$9 yesterday, and then we all sold, and now he didn't, and he's going to the moon.
So we think market cap could be in the $4 billion range,
He is not going to the moon.
or do we think
Uranus?
maybe like 2 billion?
It's already hit $1.14 billion market cap at 33 shares, at $33 a share.
And
I'll
we
buy
said that Bumble
33
was
bucks a
like
share,
in the
whoever
$4
wants to
billion
sell.
range, but we don't think that it could match Bumble's market cap or.
Oh no, I definitely.
Bumble also uses dudes and chicks, like
Right.
Hey,
But
I got
they have a smaller
too. Like, just
I have
I
a
just did a bit of
technical question here. If you took all the dicks on Tinder and lined them up end to end, how far around the globe would you get? Opinion?
Well, if my dick's in there, at least once around the world.
you wouldn't get anywhere because all the fucking horny pilots would be fucking toasted.
So I did some research, and they do not offer straight dating on Grindr. So for all you guys who say you have the app on there because of that, that's just
Grindr's
a lie.
reopened.
They don't offer
Way
it.
to take one for the team, Mr. Bumble. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I hope my wife does not find my search history because I've
Did
been
you have a bad experience?
Can
Did I
straight
miss
people
something
join
really
Grindr?
important?
So.
I heard a bunch of thank yous. Did I miss something like super important?
No, he got on and looked at the gay guys to see if there were any straight guys, and he said no.
Wait,
that they were gay
Mr.
guys.
Bumble, it's a Bumble show?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
$36 a share, up 217%.
That's insane.
Not
So
bad.
apparently, 2021 they booked $24 million in profit and $142 million in revenue.
I mean,
those
dudes like
numbers
to fuck.
24 mil in profit, and 146 in revenue.
And what's the market cap?
Like 10 times of that right now. Oh, it's in Uranus, guys. I can't even speak normally.
All right, I bought in on Grindr.
Nice.
What price you pay?
Join the party, dude.
So,
Listen.
those of you who haven't lived through a D-SPAC before, while it is super ripping, they often do and don't go crazy.
It's about to
yourself
hope again.
they rip down, especially like Hardy was saying later on when shares start unlocking in like a month or in a few months. There's going to be a lot of people who got in very early who can't sell right now who will be able to sell in like 3 or 4 months at a very low price and would be more than happy to realize these gains. So don't ruin yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Who are the early investors? If it's like Saudi foreign funds, this is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure the Saudis were all in on Grindr IPO.
You would never know, man.
I think it just got halted again.
It just got halted again right below 40.
Holy
It's going to break 40.
fucking crap! This thing is a rocket.
So how soon can we trade options on it?
7 times today. 6 months.
So, all right. If I'm buying Grindr, I have to sell Nintendo. So should I sell Nintendo?
I would not buy Grindr at $40.
I would
hold. Crazy. You guys are crazy. I'll buy Grindr off you guys.
Bro. I think it's a little late to buy.
Do you guys want to know my? Do you guys want to know my cost basis for Grindr? My cost basis for Grindr is $28.
Who has the lowest cost basis entry for Grindr? Just curious.
I downloaded the app. It's free.
That would be, yeah, that would be Titty, who's floating around $2.50 a share. The Warren Buffett of gay.
God damn. Fuck. Okay.
You should at least be bi-curious. B-U-Y.
Hey, this is a safe space for everyone. Come on, feel free.
So
I don't see the share price ever being that low, though.
True, that's a good point.
He was in the SPAC when it was still a SPAC, and he sold covered calls on it for almost an entire calendar year.
Jesus Christ.
Winning.
So I'm
So
looking.
when does he receive the Nobel Prize?
The Grindr tribes. Anybody looked up Grindr tribes on here? It does bear, cut, daddy, discreet, geek, jock, leather, otter, pause.
See, you guys thought it was a fucking game. This is just a fuck fest. That's all it is, and it's going to the moon.
Oh my god! Like this might be like the next meme, man. I thought Rick and Morty's gonna be one, but
I wonder why they call him Otter.
I'm just glad I'm not gonna be the one getting fucked in this one.
I wasn't joking when I said dudes are horny and Grindr's gonna do just fine because it's a bunch of horny dudes with money who just anytime they're horny, they're like, hey, I'm gonna go on Grindr. Oh, there's a horny dude 10 feet away from me. Hi, horny dude. Like that's literally what it is. And
All
if
right,
the same thing existed for females, it would work.
How does that give it to Grindr?
Not all gay dudes are rich, bro.
No, but on average, a gay individual has more income than a straight individual.
Right, but how does that translate to Grindr acquiring that money? Like
because do we take
that by the premium?
They also have a better stomach protein.
So my only question is, if I'm bearish on Grindr, does that mean I'm long?
No, you're Otter.
Homo.
Is that a gay joke? Is you bearish?
Big bear.
You got to shave your chest.
Rad's a little twinkish on Otter. Or Grindr.
This was fun.
God.
You know,
I'm having a fucking blast.
I'm just trying to find like profitability for Grindr. Maybe Meta will buy it for their VR stuff.
It's basically a media market.
Well, Match can still get it, right?
But it would be like a redundancy for them unless they just want to grab like market share.
Fuck it. If the market cap's at 1 billion and we're speculating that it could get close to, 4 billion.
What does
Why not
Match
just
have? Does Match have homosexual dating on it?
They have like Christian Mingle.
It's not like, yeah.
I don't know. Are you on there?
Right?
Any of the other ones?
Say again. I'm
So-
sorry.
They're like a open. I mean, they have like all kinds of dating website for all types of groups. So
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But
I
I'm pretty
remember
sure-
Match back in the fucking day when Match started. I mean, so regular heterosexual dating and hooking up. But could it segue if they did buy Grindr? Could it segue? I mean, do they have a thing like same-sex dating like category and Match these days, or what?
Oh yeah, all
Yes.
these have
Okay.
these
Yeah.
things.
Guys, I'd like to
Okay.
say
Okay.
It's
I'd like to
lit-
say the Warren Buffett of gays among us. Titty is back in the chat to explain his Grindr position.
Oh,
Just so you guys
Kitty,
know,
the gayest of the gay.
Hinge, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, Our Time. They own pretty much everything but Bumble.
Titty,
Why do
can
they
you
not
explain
own
to us
Bumble?
how we're going to make money?
Titty,
You're the smart one.
what's your cost basis on Grindr?
About $2.40.
How many shares do you have?
I have a amount of shares. I talked with Scald. If I need to prove my cost basis, he is a trusted member of the community. I will prove it to him, but I don't share position sizes.
I did not know that. I apologize. I understand.
No, that's no problem. A lot of people do share position size and stuff. It's just not me.
Grindr just
Congrats,
$40
man.
a share.
Doesn't matter.
Titty, would you say that you have a girthy position?
Titty made at least $38, guys.
Please, hey, one at a time. Come on, what's going on today?
Titty, are you shy about the size of your position?
Even one share, he made $38. That's better than some people.
With that being said, being fair, I do hold a single share in my Robinhood account. I bought that yesterday just so it'd be easier to track. Robinhood did convert it over to the Grindr share, so I am free to sell that one. I am currently in a wrestling match with Vanguard to have access to my shares of GR and D. I do not have access to sell, but I do see the halt just came off and it's now at 46, about 45.50 right now.
This is insane.
It's going to circuit breaker again.
I'm about to put on one of those banana hats.
But they have to allow you to sell, right? You have to be able to sell
$48 a share.
They yeah, that's my feelings on it.
Man, 200%. Yeah.
I don't have access to the shares. I'm working on that. The conversion through Vanguard didn't work the same way it did through Robinhood. So I requested the information for me to be able to transfer out of Vanguard. I've had problems with them in the past. But the fact that that Robinhood worked more effectively than Vanguard should be a warning sign.
Yeah, but I'm saying whoever you bought that through Robinhood or whoever
how's your percent up on
bought
my
the transfer, can't you just call and say I want to just liquidate it? Just fuck transferring it, just get out.
Again, the transfer, the swap between the two securities has not completely cleared through Vanguard. They do not have it to be able to liquidate.
So Vanguard just doesn't have the shares at the ticker doesn't exist to them, so they don't know how to.
Okay, we just halted it again. Okay, cool.
We halted it just below $50. This is fucking real.
Yeah, so far. It's good.
Now, Titty, I can confirm that I've had problems historically with my stocks in Vanguard as well, especially just rolling stuff into them. I've rolled a couple 401ks into them before, and they've given me heartache, which is why I've stuck to TD, and my degenerate plays are on Robin.
Yeah, I'm looking at moving to probably either TD Ameritrade or Tastyworks. Interactive Broker is on the table, but I do not think that would be the one for me. So likely TD Ameritrade or Tastyworks.
Hey, congrats today. Nice job.
Yeah, props, man. That's like
huge props.
Here.
Which I've been in. I first entered the position in like May or so, but over the last week or so, I was pointing it out, because it was doing weird whipsaw stuff, and there was a 10K that was posted that looked like it could rip. So I increased my position. And then there was a article that came out that I believe another ape did share in the comments here, where it's supposed to be pretty much $10.50 a share is what I understood. So when it spiked up, I exited part of the position. That's how I got my cost basis so low. I was able, some of those shares I was buying when it dipped down, was it yesterday or day before, were at $8.50. And then once it shot back up, I exited a chunk of the position. Is how I got my cost basis so low.
Would you say that's your favorite position, Titty?
Do you think
Can you describe it?
Hold on. I have an actual relevant, important question for the 600 apes listening to this. So you got this in so how you got into this IPO launch? How, right? It's you said it was an SPAC, something or a SPAC? Excuse me.
Correct. It was previously trading under the ticker TINV.
Okay. So somebody previously mentioned that MISO, that robotics thing, is obviously it's completely different market, completely different idea, but it's getting in on an IPO, which is what we're all witnessing right now, and how the IPO spikes. So would even just talking about Miso, I like saw something on Facebook because my phone is apparently listening to me, and this is apparently like the last week to invest on that. Can anybody speak to anything about that? I don't know if the Miso guy is still here or not, but for getting into an IPO like that,
is it an IPO or a D-SPAC?
Actual IPO.
Yeah, it's not a D-SPAC. They're doing Reg A and Reg D. So Reg D allows you to sell to non-accredited investors, which is why they're able to put ads on Facebook and be like, give us $500 for our robot. Here's the thing about Miso is they've raised over $350 million over the course of the last several years through their Reg D selling. And here's the other thing about Miso is its Morvex paradox, which is the fact that there are certain things that are easy for robots and AI to do, like differential equations, and there are certain things that are hard for a robot to do, like flipping a burger. And they're not always what you would expect, because for a human, we would think flipping a burger is easier than differential equations, but for a computer, the opposite is true. So I've thought about investing in Miso. I have not invested in Miso. I'm just a little skeptical of their claims.
What's the ticker for the regards in here?
There's no ticker yet either, because you can only buy into the Reg D pre-IPO until it actually comes out, right?
Tiddy, did you already comment on the potential market cap of Grindr relative to Bumble?
I did not. That was not part of my thesis. I didn't look at it. I'm sure there's people that are a lot smarter than me when it comes to that. Also, the circuit breaker just came off, and it looks like it's at 55-ish a share, 56.25.
Nice.
Hey guys, just a quick market update. Anybody notice the spike in defense industries? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's like news about like right now.
Well, North Korea blasted a long missile, whatever, that could have reached the United States if it was straight. I don't know if anybody commented on that yet today.
Like the
my Lockheed shares are
Dude, I've been saying
Intercontinental.
Okay. Lockheed. I saw an article yesterday about the entire NATO Eastern Front, I believe, is going to start pulling HIMARS from Lockheed to be like their main defensive front. And so I asked in Discord yesterday what we thought about that.
HIMARS.
But that may be what you're seeing.
Well, Lockheed, Raytheon, and NOC, they're all like rallying. In fact, if you go on TradingView, you see like the Nasdaq's aerospace defense part. They're all up. In fact, they are gapped up like pretty significantly today.
I'm glad your Lockheed is covering your SPY 0 DTE losses.
Speaking of up, how about that goal?
These degenerate 0 DTE puts are going to make me lose an Xbox One X worth of money or make me an Xbox One X worth of money. We're going to see. And either way, I'm buying you some steak dinner the next time I see you, Scald.
I thought that was going to be an Xbox One X, and you almost connected the whole thing back together.
Yo, Rat, should I give them the inside scoop on Lockmart?
No, keep it to yourself.
All right, cool.
Grindr is halted again at $56 a share.
It is not halted on Robinhood though.
This is the power of big gay.
So it seems Vanguard being slow to let Tiddy sell is just making him more money. They're essentially going, we're so incompetent, and the market's going, here, have more cash.
Tiddy likes Tinder long.
Imagine getting fucked for like 500% and then getting fucked another 100% from there. It's got to feel great.
You should change your name to Bear Den.
He's the first gay bull we've had. Plenty of gay bears.
Sorry, what's the ticker on this Grindr?
GRND.
Is there a ticker for ZDDY yet? Because if I ever take a company public, I'd like to be Zaddy.
Hey, Titty, I might sell some shares here.
Oh my god, this is on like it is defying like gravity right now. Like any kind of technical analysis doesn't like make sense.
This is how it was when Facebook IPO'd.
This is a big one, but a lot of D-SPACs rip when they D-SPAC.
Yeah,
they do.
I remember
and
Nick
it goes
was
away.
like that
Just
too.
know that.
This is called the technical boner.
Remember when
ready to
Trump's
hit my
SPAC went
$10
public and it did the same thing? Do we think it's going to have the same downside momentum?
Yes.
Well, you guys know why.
I mean, it always goes up and then it goes down. You know.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
that's
is,
gay.
there was no product.
Put a sell at that's like 80. You call it a day. Call it a win.
You guys are missing the thing. If it's gay, it's always up.
Well, so here's the thing. You guys are talking about Grindr and then Bumble and Tinder. These are not the same horses in the same race. Grindr is primarily and foremost a hookup app for the LGBTQ whatever community, whereas Tinder is mostly for women, or fake women, I should say, not even really women, bots and bot farms to sell fake Snapchat stories and OneDrive shares of porn they find on YouTube and eBay. Bumble is probably the only relatively dating focused app because it gives women the power to message men first, which kind of straightens out the opportunities between the genders for talking. So in reality, the three things you're comparing is an actual dating platform, a gay hookup platform, and a content sales platform.
A thirst trap?
Not to belittle the point you're making, but we did discuss this in depth for like the first 20 minutes of talking about Grindr. And people did their due diligence and signed up to.
DTE is up 40%. Should we sell now?
Sell it.
Who is up?
40% zero DTE spike puts.
Nobody ever went bankrupt realizing gains.
I cut him loose.
Get out. Zero DTE.
What are you doing, Scald? What are you doing, buddy?
I think we lost him. I don't think he's here.
Dude,
make your call.
Just take them. If at
I'm
worst
holding
you
up.
have
Yeah,
them,
take
and
a
then the
game.
rest are running free. Well, not
he's-
free, but
Take the game.
He's selling his
Hardy,
call.
hey, Hardy has taught us a million times. Take your gains. Stay in if you want to, but take your gains.
Okay, Grindr's jumped to 63.
Anyways, yo guys, what
it better hit 69.
Any news on that?
Gone to
Sell at
69.
69.
There was rumors about that last year. OnlyFans.
I think we missed what you were saying. What were you saying?
Is there any news about the OnlyFans SPAC?
Someone said they were going public, but in order to go public, they were going to take off the pornography stuff, and then everybody. I think it was Scald that was talking about that, and he'd be more knowledgeable of it.
They tried to go public. They talked about taking off porn for reasons, and then like everybody hated it. So they were like, "Oh, never mind. We're totally not getting rid of porn. Sorry, we lied. We lied."
It was, if I remember specifically, it was penetration. You could still have nudity, but you could not have actual sex.
I think the issue was the actual like porn stuff messed with the potential advertisers they could get. They felt like it was locking out a lot of ad revenue, but the user base was just like, if you're doing that, we're gone.
I think they're missing an opportunity, man. If Pepsi was on Pornhub, they'd make a lot more money.
Rad, do I give them my OnlyFans account?
Yeah, go for it.
Not
Also, he's not wrong. I'm just saying, porn video halfway through, she's like, "Hang on, I'm tired. I need to get a Pepsi."
Yeah, you're goddamn
money.
right.
Yeah, those product placements.
Yes.
It'd be a non-stop product placement moneymaker.
I mean,
I think Coke tried that with when they put cocaine in their soda.
I'm just saying it could still happen. Who knows?
I think you
You guys
guys have
can't
been going
forget.
overboard, putting it in the pussy.
You
Are
guys
you
can't
safe?
forget
Are you
that
Can't
safe
talk
not
with
about
what
only
weird
you
things.
have?
There's a baby here now.
not
Grinder
only did
so
Coca-Cola have cocaine,
I want to hear
but
Scald.
I want to bring up that 7-Up at the same time had lithium in it. So you could bring yourself up with the Coke and then level yourself up with the lithium, all at the soda fountain. What a time to be alive.
I'm saying.
Yeah, no wonder the Dow Jones 8x'd over 6 years.
I remember
you
the
can
smell of
still
mustard gas.
you can still do that. Just do what I do and be in a relationship with a bipolar person, and you have plenty of lithium and shit just lying around and just massive amounts of quantities.
I'm sure
level
there's
out the Adderall, right? Just kind of.
I'm sure there's a balance.
Adderall's for noobs. I'm on that fucking designer fucking ADHD med, bro.
Oh yeah, you're on Adderall 2.0. I forgot. That stuff's dope.
Yo, there's an Adderall shortage right now.
Wait. There's a lithium shortage too, so it sounds like you got some product.
There's no shortage of my bullshit.
Same here.
There's also Adderall 2.0 called Mideas. It's like Adderall danker.
Calls on straight jackets.
$10 a pill.
Hey, what's up, Dole Gang?
What's up, Glip Glop?
Looks like we're about ready to break the $10 price target. The way I came up with that was I did typical value investing, and then I just sort of eyeballed it and discounted it for its debt ratio on an arbitrary basis.
So
If you remove all the debt,
FDMT
it's
hit
very
some
profitable.
resistance today, guys, and it's now still going up. So it's still on its uptrend from like last week.
My Nintendo friends will note that it may be the 1050 is the new resistance.
Nice. I just want to say,
Maybe.
Scald, I got your joke.
I want to
Me
see
too, that was
Grindr go
fun.
to $69 a share.
What are you looking at for an exit price for your 0DTE puts, Scald?
I don't know what an exit strategy is on 0DTE. No, seriously, I do try to take when it gets above 60%, but we'll see what happens.
It's hit 40% twice in the last 2 minutes.
I know. It's really thinking about giving it to me.
Well, I guess I'm still in my 290 puts from yesterday. I'm trying to get something back out of them.
I normally take on 40% if I don't think. Normally 40% is the number I take on for SPY 0DTEs, but there's just such a huge spread between current price and max pain. Like this is one of the largest spreads I've seen in a while, so that's why I'm holding off.
Well, you got
largest spread
3 minutes
since
until
Titty's
market
grinder
up.
play.
Yeah, it looks like Grinder's going to $69 a share. Good call, Sad. You nailed it, and I nailed it. You both said $69 a share.
It's $69.80.
Oh, there it is.
And
It
get
It's
arrived.
going to 100. Get in.
I hopped on the Grinder boat at average price of $19 a share.
Nice.
Man.
Here comes the
I'm in
red.
a
You'd be
I
buying
FOMO'd
drinks
in
for
at
all the boys
54. Thanks, boys. They
I'm
were
at
still
136.
My
I'm still
Gator
seeing
is going
100.
off right now, off the charts.
So do you think that since Netflix is kind of doing not so well, we could replace Netflix with Grindr and Fang, and then it'll just be
No.
There are people that can extrapolate from incomplete information, and then there's other people who can't.
80% of the chat can't spell.
I
So
was gonna say MAGA, but that's fine too, I guess.
I think
I've invested heavily into the Plex platform lately myself. I've canceled every subscription service I have, except for, I pay for the Apple One plan or whatever so that I can get the 2 terabytes of storage and the Apple Music and shit for my family. But I've just completely migrated to Plex because they've made it impossible for me to share my almost $30 a month Netflix plan with my aging parents who like to watch like 2 shows on Netflix. And all the other platforms are raising their prices. I'm paying about cable TV prices just to stream 3 shows. It's ridiculous.
Skull, you got about a minute to exit before market momentum changes again.
So are we still holding Dole and Grindr?
My price target for Dole was $10 and we've hit it. So I'm going to still hold my shares, but my calls, I'm cleaning out the remainder of them. Why not?
You're a genius.
Grindr at 70.
Take that banana suit off.
Hey, I don't have a banana suit on anymore.
Don't speak to the king.
I thought these were Grindr
Oh my
suits.
god, I fucking love the banana suits, guys.
These are Grindr suits.
I'm vibing with the banana suits.
I will let you know if Dole responds to my request. They've already done one NFT project. I have created a digital comic book with a Dole-themed superhero, so that might pump it. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of bananas, I mean, Amazon, you got to be bullish on them. They give free bananas out at their headquarters. Yes, sir. They got a whole banana cart that they push around. Bananas for days. And they're
there's
laying off
always
a
money in
ton
the
more
banana
people.
stand.
So.
Don't forget the official Dole theme song, Banana Phone. Do 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 do. Banana Phone.
Did you just combine Phenomena and Banana Phone into one song?
It's one song, right? Same song.
I want to know if they give you the bananas as they're laying you off at Amazon.
They probably do. You take a banana on your way out.
I was told they give you the bananas after you pass out from heat exhaustion working in the factory floor.
Oh, yeah, your potassium.
Yeah.
I don't think they get bananas. They're below us, you know?
Question. So, Scald, you know about things. I'm looking at Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. They went into a pact with Cytomics. Cytomics is a very, very low market cap thing that is helping Regeneron with cancer therapy. And they have a contract out to them that awards them X amount. And they can get, I think it's, what is the time frame? They can get awards of up to $2 billion for their stuff. So Cytomics is really, really low. It's like below 100 million. But Regeneron being somebody that would supply them, they're like 79 billion for their market cap. So, I mean, there would be somebody that would supply and pay that low market cap group. Is that anything to pay attention to?
So Regeneron, I'm familiar with their ranizumab, their biologic ocular product, right? Because they have an eye care product as well. I'm not really familiar with the oncology side of Regeneron's business, which is what you're talking about. It's like their cancer therapies.
Yeah.
So I don't have enough knowledge to comment one way or another. And these biotechs are, I mean, you got to do a deep dive. So.
This is more of a, from a financial point of view. So it's a large market cap, a very, very wealthy group putting out a contract for a very small group to use some of their, I think they're using one of their interventions with the Regeneron targeting platform to go after certain types of cancer. So let me find the I'm tabbing out on my phone here, so I'm unmuted for a sec. So let me look at the actual what are the stipulations of that thing real quick.
I just quickly scanned through the that article. It just looks like Regeneron is just investing in that company. Right now, everything is in like very initial phase.
Yeah, They're getting 30 mil right now, and they can get future target nomination payments and preclinical, clinical, commercial milestones of up to $2 billion as well. So they can get paid more. They've also cut their workforce by like 40%, so they've cut their operating costs. So I know it's super low market cap, but it's a large market cap group investing in it. So I didn't know if that'd be something important to bring.
What's
I mean, what's the other ticker? There's Regeneron. What's the other one?
Cytomics is CTMX. It's super tiny. It's very low, but Regeneron with its like $700 something, stock price, big boy money bags is throwing money at these guys.
Yeah, I would also say that just in general, from my limited experience working in commercializing medical products, which I only have a little over a year in, the preclinicals, that's probably in the bag. Early stage clinicals, that's probably also in the bag. Where it'll start to get dicey is like stage 2 clinicals. So of the $2 billion earmarked to them, I would say they're at least so bullish on them.
You cut out when you said at least.
Oh, I would say they'll at least harvest a good portion of that $2 billion allotment, I would say, which would be bullish for Cytomics, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't bring it up if it was just a loan, but when it had a big whale paying attention to it, I thought that might be important to bring up.
Grindr halted at the drop.
Yeah, I sold all my shares. I got my profit.
Lockmart about to make its run right now, boys. Love it.
What's the ticker, sir?
For Cytomics, CTMX.
Is that the one you said was below market cap, or the one that wasn't?
That is the one that's below market cap.
What's the market cap of CTMX? Because I'm not even getting a hit on that.
So it's above market cap like a couple months ago.
Yeah, but we also don't talk about the towel store that everybody likes because it's no longer above market cap.
Yeah, I was only, like I said, I wouldn't bring it up if it was a loan, but it's some big boys giving it a $2 billion potential contract with $30 million up front.
Yeah, I don't want to be biased here, but this is different than the biotech moon boys that have been commenting for the last week.
I was the biotech moon boy.
I get what you guys are saying, but I know like Shepherdess a while ago wanted to share a pairs play where one of the stocks was below market cap and she wasn't able to for the same reason. So I don't make the rules obviously, but I'm just saying.
And I've been buying into Shepherdess's trade, by the way. I now have 1,000 shares of that company. It's pretty dope. Instead of investing in a shit coin, I just put money into there and I buy 100 shares a day. It's not much.
She's smart if people would just let her speak.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
She's got a positive hit ratio. I'm pretty sure. Like most, like over half of the make money.
Shepherdess is way brighter than she sounds. That's for sure.
Oh, you want to talk about something that I did super shitty though? So I actually did do this Cytomics thing yesterday. I bought like 5 calls, and I was driving when I checked it, and I was magically up on my call by like $1,000, and I panicked and I was like, you know what? I'll just take it, and I went ahead to go sell it, and I wasn't paying attention, and I clicked market on accident instead of the limit where it was actually, why it was important. So I sold it at the lowest bid, and I was so mad. And I just fucking lost all that potential. Yeah.
That's rough, man.
Yeah. So it was actually kind of funny. So because this is Reddit anonymous. I was like on my way to a therapy thing anyway, and I was like, "Oh man, now I really need this."
You're
Yeah,
going
we were
to
just
a Gambler Anonymous meeting?
we were
Grinding
just talking about that during yesterday's chat. Franklin, after he came on here and talked about NFT trading, like 2 days later, he sold one of his Bored Apes for 9 Ethereum instead of 99 Ethereum.
Oh,
yeah. Like, oh, and like we've all done that. And like I mentioned it yesterday, and everyone was like, yeah, we've done that. Like, I once went to buy 100 shares of something and I bought 1,000 shares instead and was like, oh, my bad. Like, I think we've all done that at some point in our trading.
That moment when you think you're setting a stop loss, but you actually just sold it all.
The worst is in the early days of offshore with Bitcoin. If you were betting in like millibits and you accidentally forgot an extra zero in there, or you added one too many zeros, you'd basically either be betting 10 times as much or 10 times less than you intended to. So when you lost and you had bet 10 times as much, it was actual like pain. But then you would also have these times where you bet 1/10 of what you wanted to and it would win. That was also very tilting.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Hey, I had stepped away for a minute. What's happening with Grindr? Are we still in the play? Are we still holding? What's going on?
Well, I was talking about the market cap comparisons between Bumble and Match.
We're waiting until the market cap goes 3 billion.
3 billion or 4,
Yeah.
okay.
I took a 30% gain yesterday on it. Now I want to cry myself to sleep. So that happened.
I mean,
Personally, I'm not going in because a lot of de-SPACs do this, where they do this giant rocket and then they go back down and then they kind of normalize. So I tend to wait these out, but I am a little mad at myself for not picking it up yesterday at $11 like I wanted to.
It's
So
called it's called the erection formation.
Yeah,
I bought
he didn't want to make money on the way up and on the way down. He just wants to make it on the way down.
Okay, you know what? Red
Grinder update: $47.99 per share.
Okay, I'm getting
Yeah,
out.
I'm feeling-
getting out of 50. I'm pulling out of
High
50
was
with the 100%.
$71.51. I had
If you
20
are up,
shares.
remember stop losses are your friend.
Yeah.
I had a stop loss.
Nobody sold at 69.
I did.
I had a stop loss
I had
at
a limit
60.
sell at
I had
69.
I had a stop loss at 60, and it crashed right on through and halted. It finally sold off all the shares at 40, and then I just
shoot.
bought in on the dip.
You got to
right
do
here.
a market order, dude.
Okay, I'm out of 50.
Well, it was a market order once the price dropped.
Stop market.
I will see you all
It
later.
was a stop market, but fucking Robinhood is just not fast enough.
He did it right, but when things like rocket down and get halted, it can screw up because it's halted, so it can screw up his ability to actually sell it.
Opinion, do we have any talks this weekend? If not, I'll see you guys on Monday.
We were thinking of doing a Traders Anonymous, and then we were also thinking of doing just like a weekly wrap up where we talk about DDs and stuff that were posted, since we've really been putting a lot of effort into cleaning up the sub. You might have noticed a couple less shitty memes and a lot more discussion in DD. It's a lot of effort, but yeah, we're looking to just talk about all the stuff that's happened and have a kind of a roundup. And then not this weekend, but I'm not sure if it's the weekend after or after that, but we're going to start encouraging more of the big name meme makers to come back and start doing like weekly like predictions and polls to see, you know, which meme was best, trying to bring back some of that amazing quality we had and that competition that we had back in the GME days. So lots of cool stuff coming up. But to answer your question more directly, yes, there will be talks this weekend, so check them out. There is no schedule yet posted, though.
Grinder bet
That's good.
way down.
Thank you very much, Opinion. I look forward to it. And I'll see you all this weekend.
Cheers.
Latest call.
Do you say Grinder is way down?
Way
Grinder's
down
down to 40.
Yeah, they just got halted at 40.57.
And halted.
That's called the limp formation.
It's halted
way
down,
down
so
to
Opinion,
up
we need you on your
248%.
account.
All right,
Opinion, we
what
need you to get on
phone
your
account?
account and get on Grinder. Get it pumping up again, man. Come on.
All right, sorry, this was me. I took too much time running these talks. I wasn't on Grinder.
Get grinding.
But yeah, I feel like once it's topped off around that like 60 area, That's probably going to be the top. That's my bold prediction.
Don't they normally crash and then like retry to test top?
If you didn't
Buy
sell
the
at
20s again.
if you didn't sell at 69.69, you're tempting fate.
All right, boys, I'm headed out, but join me for the jam thread sometime this weekend. I'm about to go hit the slopes. Have a good night, guys, or a good day.
Oh yeah, Jam's thread. Well, in that case, should we just wrap it up here, guys, and we'll see you all tonight or tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Yeah. More
Grindr,
conversation.
you lady.
You can always have more conversation in our Discord VC. That's like 24 hours and honestly unmoderated. So please behave yourselves.
All right, see y'all.
Cheers.
Later on.
Cheers.